but in football and crazy monopoly money time, it's not that big of a
No, that's not an obstacle for me if I'm Ohio State. And I'll say this, if I was Nate Oates or Lamont Pierce or any of these guys, if it was Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, I'd rather have the Ohio State job. Like, I understand that Michigan and Michigan State have won national championships, but Ohio State hasn't won one since 1960. So, if you're able to go in there and win a national championship, and you got the same resources or more than the others have, so Ohio State is one of those. It's almost like the Florida football job before Spurrier took over.
They're a rich alumni base, and they obviously just raised that extra money for the football NIL. I think they will do anything to win now that you can spend money moving forward. But I bring this up with Nate Oates because, if a Louisville or Kentucky comes open, for those people when it comes to basketball, $10 million is not that big of a deal. For those people. I mean, we're talking horse money and fast food money.
Would you rather have Louisville or Ohio State? Like, Louisville's got the great arena.
Louisville.
They've got the history.
Louisville.
I'd rather have Louisville.
Yeah, I'd take Louisville.
I don't know. Because Ohio State, you don't have to worry about in-state with Kentucky. You're always going to be second to Kentucky in that state.
Yeah, we talk about this more.
That is true.
We talk about this more in football than we do in basketball, but the strength of the Big Ten moving forward versus that ACC TV contract does make me tap the brakes a bit on Louisville.
Hey, it's a pretty down year in the ACC. Go back to Lenardi. How many teams does he project? I'm going to say tops out at 4.
I think at 3.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll pull it up.
I think it's 4. I think it's North Carolina. I think it's Duke.
Clemson is trending that way.
Virginia and Clemson.
Yeah, it's probably 4.
Wake's on the bubble, in my opinion.
He's got 4 ACC teams.
Okay.
I don't have his whole field, so don't ask me the 4.
So I know it's North Carolina, Duke, Virginia, and then
I think Clemson's in.
I would think it was Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson's in. Clemson won in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I'll tell you, his last 4 in are TCU, Ole Miss, Utah, Nevada. First 4 out. I don't see a whole lot. Wake Forest is in his first 4 out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
Bubble.
Look for potentially, I'll just say it this way, potentially over the next couple weeks, and I don't know if I told you guys this off the air or not, but remind me to at the end of the show in a minute and a half. I should remember. Look for potentially some movement on an Alabama basketball arena.
Came from the quarterback club this week. Tip-off club, did it not?
Did Nate Oates say it? I didn't see him. I didn't see that he said it. But
I had friends that were there that he referenced.
Maybe a unique way of doing it where Alabama doesn't have to foot the whole bill on it.
Yeah. I've always thought it should be like
there are other places that do this.
The city of Tuscaloosa, the one in Austin was done this way.
Yep.
It was shot down. It was shot down to share it with Tuscaloosa. It was shot down. The thought of that initially because Alabama didn't feel like they needed to be blacking out 62 dates on somebody else's arena.
Yeah, I think it'll be more dates than that, but I also think financially it's going to make a whole lot of sense for the city of Tuscaloosa and Alabama.
Yeah.
So that could change a lot of things with Nate Oates.
Yeah. By the way, he'll probably get another contract extension, as you guys are saying, and another raise to stay at Alabama.
If he wins the conference again,
yeah,
I'm sure there's a significant bonus in there for winning the conference.
It's never been as good consistently since Wimp as it is right now over in Tuscaloosa. But I'd be okay in New Arena and share it with Tuscaloosa. If you're the city of Tuscaloosa, why would you not do it? You can start hosting concerts there when Alabama's not playing basketball there. You can actually get a hockey rink in there and actually get Alabama hockey on campus. A lot of things you can do in that arena. All right, that's the show, 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the Live Daily Show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Jay Bilas joins the show in segment number 2 today. So that's coming up live. Jay on his way to Auburn for college game day coming up Saturday, and the call for Kentucky and Auburn. More on Auburn basketball in a second. Also, we got some big news. Carousel churning some more in college football, and some big rule changes possibly in the future of college football. We'll get to that coming up in hour number 2, most likely, or maybe the end of this hour. So hang around. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar. The back row is Tyler and Lunsford and Forrester. Tim Melton is here today doing the great work behind the scenes, soon to be in front of a camera. More details on that later. Emily Grace McWhorter, Taylor Korn handling everything else in the command center today. Thank you for being with us. Thumbs up, like, subscribe everywhere at Next Round Live on every platform. We're down in Auburn last night, and you called it, LT. You were so confident in calling it 8.5, and then it was 11.5. You said this is about to be a beatdown. Number 13 in the country is about to beat down number 11, South Carolina, down at Neville Arena. And it didn't dawn on me until we were approaching halftime, and Auburn was up, 22? And Taylor turned around to me and said, you know, this is weird that it's not even a quad 1 win, that they're number 11 in the country, but it's not even in all of the computers, even a quad 1 win. There's a big separation between what Auburn really is and what South Carolina really is.
Yeah, look, and I can't figure out South Carolina. I had a feeling that they were probably going to take on water when you start to look at the remaining, I guess, 6 games now for Lamont Paris and this South Carolina squad. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is they did come in at 21-3, 9-2 in the SEC, and they led the SEC in scoring defense. I mean, they were only giving up,
64.
Yeah, 64 a game. They hadn't given up more than 77 the entire year. And for Auburn to go 101 on them
yes.
and beat them by 40. I mean, look, we know Neville is that good of a home court advantage. And, you know, I heard some guys talking about it this morning. You know, pre-Bruce Pearl, I mean, that atmosphere was nothing.
Oh, Beard Eves. I mean, they had the Cliff Dwellers the one year they were really good under Cliff, but that was about it.
Yeah, but you got, before Bruce, you got a year or two in Neville,
Oh,
right?
no. Yeah. Neville Arena. Yeah, when it was Tony Barbie. I mean, what was there to cheer about? I'll take it one step further. That would not even have been a quad 1 win had it been played on a neutral site last night. That shows you how far down the net South Carolina fell. Now, it would have started the night as a quad 1, but they fell to 51 last night, so they would drop out of the neutral site quad 1. So not only was it not a quad 1 at Neville, it would not have been a quad 1 anywhere other than Columbia, South Carolina.
What you can't explain, though, is, I mean, Kentucky has some holes, so South Carolina beating Kentucky. What you can't explain away is what South Carolina did to Tennessee in Knoxville.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Makes no sense at all. Look, they're a good team. I don't think there's any doubt. But for them to get beaten the way they got, I mean, we call it a dick whipping. They got beat by 40. It wasn't even close. And you just wonder, moving forward now with this difficult schedule, you know, is their confidence lost? Because as good as they've been this year, to me, that's more of reality. How good Auburn is. And I don't want to say South Carolina's that bad. I think South Carolina's good. But, man, that was just that was a beatdown.
Auburn still has a chance at the regular season championship for sure. They're just a game back in the loss column from Alabama. Alabama doesn't play until Saturday. Tennessee is still in the mix. So I think it's a 3-team race. I don't put South Carolina in it anymore. I think it's Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee down the stretch.
I mean, do you believe South Carolina's got LSU? That should be a win in Columbia. But then you got to go to Oxford. They're going to be underdogs there. They got to go to College Station, underdogs there. They've got Florida at home. I'll give them that one. They got Tennessee at home. Tennessee's going to get the revenge. They're not sweeping Tennessee in the regular season. Then they go to Mississippi State. I think that's a loss. So I think they've got 4 more losses coming up.
I will say this. The one thing South Carolina does
by the way, I think they're going to end up being like an 8 or 9.
Or may find themselves on a bubble at some point with that net being that low.
Well, that is a low net. I mean, it's in the 50s, and it's only going to drop if they do. What did you say? Lose 4 of their last 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do the old last 10 games anymore. That used to be a big factor for the committee.
So that puts them at 23-8 rolling into Nashville. You know, let's just say they split 24-9. I think they're more like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like some of those old Anthony Grant teams that have a really good record It was that one in particular that had a really good record, but there was just nothing they could hang their hat on.
They didn't do the right math in their
right.
scheduling.
I will say one thing South Carolina does not want to do again this year is play a game in the state of Alabama. It's their two worst losses of the year. Alabama beat them by 27. Auburn beat them by 40. And I know Lamont Paris said after the game last night, Auburn is not 40 points better than us, and Auburn isn't 40 points better than them. But they have played two crappy games in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, and they've averaged 54 points offensively in those two games.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I mean, you say they're not 40 points better than
they're
them,
not.
but that team.
No.
They're
And Neville, they're probably, you play this thing, they're probably 20 points. If you average this out over a 10-game sample size, you probably they average about 20-point wins.
Oh, Vincent Neville, yeah. I mean, you start playing that game on a neutral side. Auburn's obviously not 40 points. Alabama's obviously not 27 points.
Interesting talking to people, man. That number is way too big. Apparently not.
No, it wasn't. Even I won that one last night at mybookie.ag. Here's some facts. When we were at the game last night, from about the 12-minute mark on, Auburn fans were not worried about the win. They knew they were going to get the W. They turned their attention in this order. One, getting a selfie with Bo Jackson, which he doesn't go for. Not a big selfie guy.
Not necessarily not the nicest guy in the world.
He's no Charles Barkley, is the way I put it.
He did selfies pregame, but during the game, and I don't blame him. The video on SEC Network was the guy walking up with action on the floor wanting a selfie, and Bo's like, no, I'm watching the game.
Yeah, I
turn around and watch the game.
I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, I think Charles is nice to a fault. We've seen him eating dinner where people are idiots, but people coming up and interrupting a dinner to get a picture or an autograph, Charles is nice enough to do that.
Bo's interesting, though. I've played 18 holes with Bo at the Regions, and in the Regions Pro-Am one year, I was in Bo's group. And hole to hole, Bo treated that whole situation differently. It was really interesting to watch. And it really had no effect on, he made a bogey on the previous hole, so he was pissed. It was just one tee box, he was happy to make all the photos you wanted, and the next tee box, he was like, no, I'm playing golf.
Yeah.
And I could not really figure out, the rhyme or reason of when Bo was ready to make a photo or not, but he was willing to let everyone know.
A little schizophrenic?
I mean, it was just weird. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Charles Barkley's steak will get cold while he's standing up taking picture after picture after picture. And if you were at the Alabama game last week, you saw Barkley standing up with a line of people missing the action, taking pictures. But that was one thing. And then late in the game, as in every arena, you start cheering to break 100. And apparently Taylor will have to come in here and explain it to me. There's some Baumhauer's chili fry giveaway, which I thought I thought they were cheering that everybody gets chili fries if they break 100. But it may be, if I asked the guy in front, you get chili fries for breaking 100? And he said something about missing 2 free throws in a row or something. And that seems like they would go broke giving away chili fries as just the opposing team missing 2 free throws. I mean, that seems like that could happen a lot.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's in the last minute or 2 minutes or whatever. But that's all they were caring about at the end was breaking 100 and chili cheese fries from Baumhauer's. That's all they were talking about.
Well, hey, why would you not?
Yes.
Let me say this, though. One small observation. Janai Broome is a really, really good collegiate player. But he's starting to develop this outside shot. Now, I'm not going to say next level. I think he'll be hell over in Europe. The release
I think he comes back to Auburn next year.
He should. He should. He's a junior this year. He's making a lot of NIL. He should come back, continue to refine this. My point is going to be, if him and Jalen Williams, and look, Janai has been taking these interesting and the opportunities that he takes the three at, they're almost like backbreaking for opponents. But I mean, this year he's hitting 39% behind the arc. If him and Jalen can continue to stretch defenses with what they've got inside, this Auburn team, I don't want to say unbeatable because we saw them on Saturday against Florida, and this is just what you get in today's college basketball. But if they're on for a 6-game stretch, watch out.
Well, let's hear from Bruce and those guys about what you're talking about. Here's Bruce Pearl talking about Janai and Jalen's three-point accuracy last night. 9 of 12 was the number from three for those two guys. Here's Bruce Pearl after the contest.
I don't know. You're there. Jalen's 5 for 7, and Janai's 4 for 5. So when you get 9 3 balls from your starting front court, it kind of makes everything you might try to do offensively work, right? There are picks and rolls and there are picks and pops, and now after Janai popped a few, I'm never going to get him to roll. But that stuff that makes you hard to guard. Yeah. It makes you hard to guard because what do you do? Because if you don't switch, we're going to get those shots, and if you do switch, then we're going to have mismatches on the inside. So it's not rocket science.
Boy, we've been doing this show a long time. I had no idea that clip was coming.
Oh, you perfectly set it up.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. You walked Jimmy right into that one.
It gets even better because if you're hitting threes at their rate, you need a nickname. Here's Janai Broome and Jalen Williams after the contest. No T-shirts made with this on it yet, but I bet they're coming.
Y'all combined, the two of y'all, to shoot 9 of 12 on threes tonight.
You want to tell them? You want me to tell them our nickname?
On 3.
1, 2, 3.
Splash Bros.
I guess what was working for y'all to get that many looks from deep and also just to knock them down?
I would say, just being comfortable out there. I feel like they didn't really force me to do anything, and I just felt like I had the right looks, and we prepared for those looks, and I just had to knock them down.
Yeah, kind of what he said. Those are looks we get all the time in practice. They were kind of giving us a little bit of space, so it was in that point where you shoot it or you kind of pass it, and it's kind of like awkward because you're open, but you're not really open. But, once we see the first one go in, we got that confidence, and we got our coaches and teammates' confidence. So just going to the hot hand, and just making plays to help win the game.
Now, away from that shooting, LT and Brownie, Jay Bilas said it last night, and he's on the show in the next segment, so we'll ask him more about this. But they also play great defense, and that's why it was a 40-point game. South Carolina, who came in playing great defense as well, Auburn averages only behind Houston on field goal percentage on their defense, and I think it's around a 37% number. They held South Carolina to 34% last night while they were hitting over 50% of their shots. It starts and ends with defense with Auburn.
I mean, it does, but that's why Auburn is one of the most dangerous teams in college basketball because they're so good at both ends. When you can score 101 against a team that is only giving up 64 per game in a really deep 14-team league, and then you can hold them 3 of 15 behind the arc in a total of 61 points. I hate the nickname, though. I know they're kidding.
Oh, they are kidding because the Splash Brothers is Clay and
Clay and Steph.
Those two are not going to shoot enough threes to be called the Splash Bros.
If they go 9 of 12 every night,
they call themselves whatever they want. There's so much made of Auburn in Neville and Auburn away from Neville, and there is obviously a difference. Nobody's going to argue that one. That difference exists for almost any team in college basketball.
Yeah. Say that to Taylor. See if she argues with you.
Well, she needs to look at numbers if she doesn't. There is a difference between Auburn in Neville and Auburn not in Neville. But again, that is true for pretty much every team in college basketball. This is nothing new here.
Yeah, would you not say that Auburn is maybe the best team in college basketball in Neville? And on the road, they're top 15 team. They're a B.
Yeah, but I could say the same thing about Kansas, too. That's my point.
Oh, yeah.
Kansas loses a bunch of road games, but go play them in Allen Fieldhouse and see how that goes for you.
1-5 on the road in the Big 12, still in the top 10 in the nation.
That's right. Yeah. So go play them in Allen Fieldhouse and see if they're 1-5. This is true of a lot of teams. But my point was going to be, if you look at all these metrics that you have to hit to win a national championship, and you can go find them, and we share some of them. We share the Ken Palm one, but they go even deeper than that. There are a lot of metrics that every national champion, analytical metrics that every national champion has shared over the last 25 years. Auburn fits in a lot of those categories. They're not. There's some that are consensus. There's some that are fit in every category, UConn and Purdue and teams like that. But Auburn fits in a lot of those categories.
What is that group that you give us every year? The little small window of national champions?
Yeah, it's the Ken Palm. You have to finish the year. Now, this includes your tournament play, so it gets a little bit tricky. But I actually dug a little bit deeper and found where you have to be at the end of the regular season. Now, Scott is showing you the Ken Palm. And what you will notice and what Scott is showing you is that even though some teams are ranked high, they may not always fall in the top 10 in both windows. For instance, Alabama at number 7, the best team in the country offensively, 72nd defensively.
Yeah, like South Carolina coming in last night, they were in the top 51 in both.
Yeah. And
I thought that was a little bit of a stretch to even include that.
Right. So in Ken Palm, every national champion since 2002, and Taylor has been tracking this, every national champion since 2002 has finished the entire season, this includes their tournament, top 40 offensive efficiency, top 25 defensive efficiency. So you can see in that one, Auburn fits. But you can dig even deeper, and Auburn checks a lot of boxes there. They're not consensus like a Houston or Purdue, Connecticut is, but they do check a lot of boxes. Yeah. It's a team that analytically, a lot of people will tell you has what it takes to contend for a national championship.
Yeah, Auburn up to 4 there. This is the net, the one the committee uses there. Auburn is 6 there, jumping up. So it's Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee in the SEC in that 5, 6, 7 hole behind Houston, Purdue, Arizona, and UConn, who have been sort of on that top 4 list all day long. Show being brought to you. We got more basketball, and we'll get to Jay Bilas coming up in our next segment. The show being brought to you today by our friends at the Rump Shaker, the great event returning to the Birmingham area in a few days, few weeks.
Did you know that colon cancer, second leading cause of cancer deaths in America, it affects men and women equally? If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, visit rumpshakerinc.org. Also, don't forget about the 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K that is coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regions Field. For more information, rumpshakerinc.org.
Back to basketball and Jay Bilas in the next segment, but a little developing story in college football today that includes South Carolina hiring their tight end coach, a familiar name, Sean Elliott, who has been there at South Carolina before. But here's the rub, Brownie. It's another Sun Belt head coach leaving late in the calendar now to go be an assistant, not even a coordinator on an SEC staff.
Jim, they had already started spring practice. I don't know that I've ever seen a coach willingly leave his team for another job when they've already started spring practice. I'm certain I haven't seen one go from a head coaching position to a position coach once they've already started spring practice. This is a new world we're living in here.
Yeah, I don't remember head coaches, especially at the level. I mean, Sun Belt, well respected, leaving to go to be a position coach somewhere else unless they were forced to do it.
A position coach at South Carolina.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, do we really know the future of Shane Beamer? Like, really good year, a little less than what people thought the expectation-wise this year was Spencer Rattler's final year. And now you're going to what could become, I mean, if they're 4-8 this year, I wouldn't be blown away.
Not at all.
But
this is if they get blown out.
Yeah. But this is a quality of life thing for Sean Elliott. Doing a little research since that broke down. Since he left South Carolina and took the Georgia State head coaching job, his family stayed in Columbia.
Yeah.
And he's been splitting time between Columbia and Atlanta, where Georgia State is located, ever since he's been the head coach at Georgia State. And you can imagine that wears on you.
Well, that sucks, but I think if he thought he had long-term stability at Georgia State, he would still deal with that.
Well, look, I think he did a really good job at Georgia State, with all the circumstances.
Record-wise, he's about 500.
Yeah, he's about 500. Really difficult conference. Georgia State, not the best of programs. And I think, he had some big wins there. But the thing is, he made $800,000 this past year. He's probably going to make that or more in Columbia. And really, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's a theme now. This guy doesn't want to deal with the NIL or transfer portal because the fact of the matter is, if you've got a guy that is playing well at Georgia State, you can't keep them. It is impossible. Not only do you not have collective, you can't keep your own players that you recruit and develop.
I told that to Brown before the show that basically if you're at a group of 5 level now, you're the farm system. If you do your job and you've got a good team, your players will get cherry picked by people who can pay them and play at a higher level.
And you can't blame them for leaving.
No, these guys know that there is no way they can sustain a program long term, and they also know their fans are not going to understand that. Georgia State's far from the big dog in that conference, but Appalachian State is. And it's going to happen to Appalachian State too. I mean, it's going to happen to them too. And when their coach goes in, whoever their coach is at Appalachian State at this time, and he goes in and has a 12-1, and then follows it up with a bunch of 6 and 6s, they're going to wonder what the crap happened. Well, what the crap happened was you went 12-1, and a bunch of people came and raided your team, and you're having to take freshmen and develop them back now. You don't have any upperclassmen, and this is going to happen on that level, and I think coaches realize that because I know it's quality of life, and I know his family's still in Columbia. He did not increase his stability any at all. I'm with Lance. There's a path for him getting fired at Georgia State and at South Carolina after this season.
But he won't get fired because of the job he does at South Carolina.
Well, he'll get fired because of the job his head coach does.
Yeah, so he'd be part of that coaching staff, which saves his reputation He wasn't fired as a head coach, still will be looked upon as a guy who was successful as a head coach, probably gets another position job.
I don't know. You say saves his reputation. If I'm an athletic director and this guy bailed at the start of spring practice, I would think long and hard about hiring him as my head coach.
What about Chip Kelly? How do you feel about Chip
the same.
Kelly?
I said it yesterday.
Yeah, I said it day before yesterday, too.
Okay, I said it Monday. I said it Sunday when you weren't here.
Yeah, and I was just making a point that I said the same thing, that Chip Kelly bailing, he was running away from getting fired.
But my thing with Chip Kelly is, and this is what we were talking about, is I would sit him down as an athletic director and say, what do why did you leave? And all he can say is, I thought I was going to get fired, or, I didn't like the disadvantage we were
Well,
at.
I think he could say the disadvantage on the latter part. I think he could say, look, there wasn't a commitment to football. Like, we're going to, at that point, he could say what we believe was the best conference in college football in the Big Ten. And we just didn't have support from the administration. We didn't have backers. You guys know how this works now. I was surprised when Sean Lewis left. Not that Kent State's a great job, when he went to work for Deion. And, it seemed great early on. And then he kind of gets demoted in play calling. But it ultimately worked out. He's San Diego State's head coach now. But when you start to see more and more of these guys do, I just wonder what the ultimate goal, if you get into coaching, is now. Like, it used to be for the love of the game. Right. Then I think a lot of people got into it because the money is so massive. But now if you've got sitting head coaches at good Group 5 jobs leaving, there's only a few of these jobs you can make a ton of money.
Yeah. We'll maybe break that down more 6 or 7 times before we kick off football in a few hundred days now before we get to week 0. Jay Bilas back on the other side. We'll talk to him. The show being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports, getting you back in the game. Listen, no matter what you do, whether you're playing or working, that body sometimes can break down. And I know sports is in the name, but you could be cutting grass, not playing sports, trimming the hedges, whatever you're out doing, and you tweak a back, a knee, or whatever. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics can get you back in the game. There's the number on your screen if you're watching us on the video platforms, 205-512-3885, 512-3885, or go to this website, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Any tweak from knee pains to back pains or anything else, they'll get you back in the game. Orthopedic care better together in 2024. 205-512-3885 or precisionsportsortho.com/2024. We're back in a moment.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with Walk-Ons.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at legacycreditunion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Man, fun night down at Neville last night. And as I was walking out of the arena, Brown and LT, I'm walking out. Little T's got the camera ready to go, and we'd been alerted. We walk out the student entrance, and already that line right there, pitching tents for Saturday's college game day and Kentucky coming to town. When we shot that video last night, we were 66 hours and 40 minutes away from tip.
That's very specific. Jay Bilas is with us now. He'll be there, and he will not have to sleep in a tent. College game day on their way to Neville Arena, as he said on Twitter when he retweeted that tweet Jim is mentioning earlier today. The jungle is all caps legit. Welcome in, Jay. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. We appreciate you coming on with us. It really has. It gets compared a lot to the arena where you played your college ball in Cameron Indoor, and I don't know that you could give it higher praise than that.
Yeah, the jungle is unbelievable. I mean, it may even be louder at times than Cameron Indoor Stadium. We've done games there where, Dan Schulman would lean over and say, I can't hear anything. Do you think we're going out over the air? Because we're right in front of the student section. It is a loud, intimidating place to play. But what really makes it is the team. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard of a place to play if the team weren't so good. And Auburn. I think I put Auburn and Houston as the two hardest playing teams in the country. They lead the nation in playing hard. And that creates a lot of problems for opponents. It's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, with that said, Tennessee, impressive win last night, 29 on the road at Bud Walton. Auburn, obviously the 40-point win. If you had to pick one of those teams to go the deepest in March, would you go Tennessee or Auburn?
That's a tough question. I mean, Auburn, it depends on the draw, obviously, that they get, what happens in the bracket. But both teams are really talented. Tennessee, the one thing that they have that Auburn doesn't have is they have one player that you can put the ball in his hands and he can go get you a bucket. I mean, Dalton Connect is really, really talented. And I saw him play maybe two or three times when he was at Northern Colorado. And truthfully, the reason I watched him play was I was watching another player on the other team that was an NBA prospect. And so I didn't really know much about Dalton Connect. And I watched him and thought he was good, but I didn't see this. And, he's a first-round NBA draft pick. But I think Auburn, if the two teams played on a neutral floor, I would probably favor Auburn a little bit just because of they're incredibly balanced. And I think offensively, they're actually a little bit better. They're not – Auburn isn't like a knockdown team, but they shoot it well enough. And their schemes are so good, but the combination of their defense and offense, and then transition. I mean, all those things are connected. Your defense leads to transition. They're a really good rebounding team, but their depth is so good, and they play so many different guys, and they keep coming at you. It's like playing in I'm surprised that we don't have hockey rules where they can just climb over the wall and come in when there's a change of ends. Because it feels that way to opponents. So there's never a drop-off in intensity. And over the course of 40 minutes, that really wears other teams down. And, the one thing Like if Auburn, it's not like Auburn's this high foul team, but because of the pace they play with and how relentless they are, and relentless can be really hard to beat. The less they foul, the less chance the opponent has to catch their breath. Putting teams at the free throw line allows the other team to breathe, and that's sort of the only thing. I mean, Auburn's really, really tough to deal with, especially there. And there's never been a year I can remember where getting a road win was harder than this year.
Are most coaches comfortable like Bruce is playing 10 or 11, or do most coaches like having a little bit of a shorter rotation? Is that common for BP, and is that common for coaches?
It's probably more common for Bruce than it is for some others, because it's hard to, if you want to maintain the kind of intensity that they play with, especially on the defensive end. Like you don't have to usually get your motivate players to play offense. The motivation comes in doing the really hard stuff, which is playing defense, because it's hard to get stops in basketball. But to play with the kind of intensity that they want for 40 minutes, you can't play the same five guys for extended periods. They're going to be kind of letdowns, and physically you can't do it. Physically and mentally, it's exhausting. So to have that many players, but most coaches can't do it because they don't have that many good players. And Auburn's got, it's not like they have this collection of five-star superstars. They've got a collection of really good athletes and really good players that are accepting of, the roles that makes the team good. And that it's not that they're role players, because sometimes you say role player and it sounds limiting, like they're a role player because they can't do certain things. My belief is that Auburn has roles, but they're what the player accepts that the team is asking them to do to be the best they can be. I don't know if that makes sense,
yes.
But it's not a limiting thing. But when you can bring in different players that have different strengths and they play to those strengths together, it's a really powerful thing. And there's never a drop off. It may happen in a particular game. Nobody's at their best all the time. But there's no drop-off in intensity generally with Auburn, and same thing with Houston. And that relentless thing wears other teams down mentally, and that leads to additional wins, in my view. I think that does happen.
Jay Bilas for a few more moments on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. College game day coming to Auburn Saturday for the Auburn-Kentucky game. Jay Reese and the gang will be there. Anytime one of the coaching pearls comes on this show, or Nate Oates, or Andy Kennedy, or Bucky McMillan, I think almost every interview, Ken Pom gets mentioned at some point. So we're aware, Jay, of what the numbers say about Alabama's defense and the unlikely nature, or the unlikely scenario that they win a national championship with that defensive efficiency. When you watch Alabama, does it match what Ken Pom and all the experts seem to think about their defense?
Well, you have to be a little bit careful with some of the analytics. What the analytics tell you is what a team has done. It doesn't tell you what the team's capable of. So Alabama's offense is top 3 or whatever it is, and they can score points in a hurry. Their defense is probably ranked 50 or 60 spots below their offense, maybe a little bit more. But really through February to the end of the season, say they take a 15% jump. The question is, how does it trend from here? And they're not going to be Auburn or Houston. That they're not going to reach that level defensively. But if they trend toward it and are rising as they get to the postseason, they can win this thing. They're good enough. And I tend to think this year, especially, you better be able to score to win it. It's not that you can give points away or trade baskets, but you better be able to score. You're not going to pitch shutouts every game in the tournament. You got to put points up, and Alabama can do that. But, there are a bunch of coaches out there that are kind of say, I don't pay attention to analytics. Kind of analytics guys, everybody's wearing, Coke bottle glasses and doing it. They're really important because they tell the story. Like, I like to be able to see it and then have the numbers back it up. And, Nate Oates, who you mentioned, I think is doing, if not if not the best job, one of the best jobs of incorporating analytics into the way they do things. And you can see the results. They've been as good as anybody since he's been there.
Jay, the Kenny Payne era in Louisville has been a disaster. I guess that's putting it nicely. 12-45 in his second year overall right now. And I think both of these in-state coaches, Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl, are going to be names on a short list if, in fact, there is a move that is made at Louisville. There was a time when you played, and even over the last 10 years or so, where UCLA, Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, Indiana, Duke, those were jobs no one would turn down. But how different is college basketball with the money you can make and teams like San Diego State and Florida Atlantic and Auburn a few years ago being able to get to a Final Four? Has that changed the mindset of guys jumping jobs?
Maybe a little bit, but I do think, like when you mentioned Florida Atlantic or San Diego State, all that, those are good programs, and I think, can they do that again? Yes. Is it likely that they do it again? No, it's not. It's easier to do it from a job like Ohio State or Louisville or some of the jobs you mentioned. It's easier to do it. The expectations are going to be higher, and the microscope is bigger in those jobs. So if you don't do it, they show you the door a little quicker than these others. But it's the same thing in football. Boise State has been really good, but I remember somebody had mentioned when Urban Meyer was at Utah and they were really good. They were saying, you can beat anybody at Utah. And he goes, yeah, we can beat anybody in a one-game scenario. But if you put these bodies into the SEC, week to week is going to be the problem. And that's when you see that, some of the smaller conference teams that jump up to a bigger conference. It's not that they can't beat the best teams in the league. It's just that going against the teams in the middle and the bottom become the problem. And because you're playing against bigger bodies and better teams and all that, so you're going to take more hits, and physically it's going to be more demanding.
Doors for game day open at 9 a.m. down at Neville this Saturday morning in the Kentucky game. Jay will be part of that broadcast. Before you get out of here, man, Samford and Bucky McMillan here in our town. When you see a coach like Bucky McMillan have great success at high school and then basically move across the street and do it in a basketball conference like the SoCon, where they've won 23 of their last 24, what do you think of a job like that Bucky's doing at a place like Samford?
It's great. I think the best thing about it, and similar with Josh Schertz at Indiana State, who came from Division II, or going back to Wisconsin when Bo Ryan was there. He was a Division, I can't remember if it's Division II or Division III at Wisconsin Platteville, where he won, national championships. You tend to think that, major college jobs, you go with a guy who's had major college assistant experience or something like that. It can seem like a closed community. That coaching, great coaches don't have level. Whether you're coaching in high school, some of the best coaches I've ever come across are high school coaches. It doesn't know a level. And so I think it makes it hopefully eye-opening for ADs and search firms that there are really good coaches out there that you need to be aware of. It's not often you're going to be able to walk across the street from high school into college and get a job. Some of that, is good fortune, but it shows that that you don't have to take a certain route in order to make it in the business.
Thank you very much for the time, Jay. Hope you enjoy your time in our state this weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. The time change between Atlanta and Auburn is always my biggest challenge.
Short drive to lose an hour.
That's right, yes. The sun will set earlier on you. Thank you, Jay. Safe travels.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Jay with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Jay Bilas from ESPN. He Reese, the gang will be there in Auburn Saturday.
Yeah, the show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Hemp Hill Services, LT. Tell us about those great folks there that handle so many things in your home.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. That's the number you need to write down. Make the call to Hemp Hill Services. Make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Just gut feeling. We got time tomorrow to break down these two games on Saturday. But just gut feeling first on Texas A&M, Alabama, because you see Texas A&M losing to Vandy and you go, well, it should be another home win for Alabama. But it seems like That's going to be a challenging game for the Tide. You got a gut on that one yet?
My gut is Alabama handles this one. Coming off the bye, getting to play at home coming off the bye. They're just so good in Coleman Coliseum. They shoot so well there.
11 a.m. on a Saturday. Will that help or hurt the crowd?
I think that hurts. I think that hurts the crowd, and I think A&M, this is going to be sneaky one-possession kind of game.
Yeah, tough game for me.
What do you think the point spread is?
I think Alabama will be a 6.5-point favorite.
So you think A&M's the play there?
Probably
right
so,
now.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and
then, especially coming off a Vanderbilt loss. I mean, this thing is so set up for this thing to really be a sweater.
And then Auburn, Kentucky. We know Kentucky has a lot of holes at home and on the road. What do you think that point spread will be, and how do you feel about Auburn and Kentucky? Early lean.
A game is in Neville, right?
Yeah, it's in Neville. I was saying last night on our drive back.
I think you're backing it down because of the Kentucky brand. So this is going to be more in line with what the Alabama number was, probably 6.5.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky's going to play.
Really?
Yeah.
I told Taylor that anything 7.5 or under, I like Auburn. I think Auburn wins at 8-10. But if it got to be 10 or 11,
yeah, I mean, although they're coming off a 40-point win, maybe this thing's a little more inflated. I do think there is something. Although Kentucky's defense is awful right now, there is something with that Kentucky brand, obviously, and so I think that will manipulate the number a little bit. So I'm going to say it comes in where you saw Alabama about 6.5.
I got to say though, outside of the Bama game, that's got to be the most juiced atmosphere of the season at Neville, right? For Kentucky when they come to town.
Are you selling Kentucky? I mean, do Neville, season ticket holders, would they sell any of their tickets?
Oh, I've got a story.
Okay.
I cannot give you the name.
Do you want to tease it?
Story time with Uncle Jim.
No, it's very short. It's a very short story. Before you tell us about Gutter Cap, short story with Jim.
I watch this guy on TikTok, and he takes all these long TikToks where the woman's like, Lance doesn't watch TikTok, but Dunaway knows TikTok is full of women that love to video themselves and talk about how their husband cheated on them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or something. So he'll take the TikTok and he'll stitch it, and he'll let her start the story like, so. You've all asked for the incredible story about how I caught my husband cheating on me, and then it'll cut to him, and he goes, she saw it on a text. And then he points at the top and it says time saved 5 minutes 39 seconds. Yeah.
It's so good.
I do like that. So I got a friend who's got 4 season tickets. Occasionally sells them, because he has 3 other season tickets.
By the way, it's your tickets, your money. You can do what you want with them.
This Kentucky team, $500 a seat. His 4 seats, $2,000.
Yeah,
and that's after the fees and everything.
So he has already sold them.
2,000 profit.
2,000 profit.
Don't blame him.
Saw the receipt the other day.
There will be fans that are upset. Why would you sell it to the other fan base?
He knows he sold them to a Kentucky fan.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Would you have a problem with that?
I mean, do you know an Auburn person is going to pay $2,000?
I mean, if I'm sitting next to it, I don't like it, but it's your tickets. It's your money.
Yeah,
I'm torn on that one.
Are you really?
Yeah,
I'm not. You do what you want with your tickets.
I mean, if let's say I've got 7 basketball, let's say I got 8 football, and I'm kicking in all those fees to be season ticket holders in all those places supporting athletics with thousands of dollars, I'm okay getting,
all things equal.
There's one team every year you can make a little money back on.
Who's the most obnoxious fan base you think?
Oh my God, they all are.
In basketball?
No, you hate
Saints fans. Yeah.
You're a Rams season ticket holder on the 50. You're playing the Saints. And you show up to your seats and sit down on Sunday, and there's 4 Saints fans on either side of you. How happy are you?
They probably have less of a criminal record than the guys that were sitting next to me.
They're the most obnoxious Saints fans ever. How do you feel about it?
I don't feel safe with Rams fans, so I probably don't care.
Oh, you would care. When the Saints fans start cheering when they're up 10 late.
Yeah, but again, it's your tickets. Like, all things equal, if I'm an Auburn guy and I've got season tickets and I've got Auburn fan that wants to buy them or Kentucky fan, same price, I'll sell them to Auburn fan. But they're my tickets, so I don't have a problem with this.
There's one fan base you can take advantage of if you're a season ticket holder anywhere in the SEC. It's Kentucky.
No, there's no doubt. They travel.
I do think there's something fun about having pods of different fan bases in the opposing arena. I think you've got to have that.
Yeah. Anyway, it'll be an electric atmosphere. I put it last night at a B- compared to other Neville games.
Because it was it was over.
Auburn fans knew they were winning that game when they showed up.
B minus. It'll be A+ on Saturday with game day there.
You think what Shark Bait is saying over there is legitimate?
A Detroit Lion fan said 4 season tickets have increased from 5,800 to 32,000.
Sell, because you're going to be disappointed at the end. They're not going to win a championship.
That sounds like a steep increase. I would have a hard time believing it has increased that dramatically.
Will is right. If I could sell my second half ticket.
Oh, yeah. You could make a fortune.
Yeah.
You'd be great at Augusta because
you
could come out and ATIX may or may not do this. I'm not sure if they do or not. You could come out and sell your badge to a broker and then go back in, or your practice round ticket. Mm-hmm. You get half a day.
Wow.
Our friends at Gutter Cap in Montevallo bringing you this great show here. Tell us about Gutter Cap first, LT.
Cap it, don't snap it. Been telling you about our friend Chris Stewart for more than 2 decades now. Best in the business. Look, gutters need to be clean and free-flowing. The answer is Gutter Cap. You don't want to get on the roof. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. Cap it, don't snap it. They'll come out, put that patented aluminum cover system. It will fit over most existing gutters. It will keep all debris out. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Charles said I had 2 of the most obnoxious Texas guys in front of me in Tide Pride section this year. It was painful. That's from a season ticket holder for Alabama football there, with Texas people buying their way into that section. Our friends at the University of Montevallo will help your son or daughter with their education after high school. It's time to be looking for that right now. Just go to montevallo.edu to get tickets or information, not tickets. They got tickets there, too, for their 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports as well. But get all the details you need from Montevallo at montevallo.edu. Great academics, wonderful campus life, and those 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports. In-person tour at montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Are you ready for a winning season in your finances? Legacy Credit Union is bringing you a slam dunk deal on their credit cards. Apply for their balance transfer and pay 0 balance transfer fees. That's right, there is no balance transfer fees, and they're offering a jaw-dropping 2.99% APR for the first 6 months. Whether you're looking to clear the cord of those holiday expenses or just wanting to streamline your finances, apply online today, legacycreditunion.com. Annual percentage rate, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details, federally insured by the NCUA.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Some interesting college football stuff coming up at the top of the hour. If you want to get back into college football with us, we appreciate Jay Bilas being on the show. Really excited for the Birmingham Stallions' first season in the UFL after 2 seasons in the United States Football League, winning those championships. And they've had great quarterback play for the 2 years, and they picked up somebody 2 days ago that we haven't been able to get to yet. But that guy right there, Matt Corral, signing with the Stallions. And I think Matt Corral fits in perfectly with what the coaching staff, Skip Holtz and company, would love to do. You look at who they've had at quarterback over the last couple of years, and Corral gives you that run and throwing off of a different platform kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Matt Corral is not still on a roster in the NFL.
Panthers, Steelers, was that the 2 places?
Panthers, I know. I'm not sure of where else he was.
One other place and didn't really make it on the roster.
But watching some of the quarterbacks in this league that have had an opportunity to play, I'm a little surprised based on his skill set. He hasn't had that opportunity. But now going and playing for the Stallions, that has been a place that people have been able to get jobs in the NFL.
And it may be even better now with the combined leagues. That Sugar Bowl injury did not hamper him any at all, did it?
I think it slowed him going into his rookie season. Well, he was delayed getting into camp and all of that.
And he couldn't do the combine or any of his senior day and stuff like that. And it was a lot of people pointed at that and said, y'all can bash players all you want for opting out of bowl games, but Matt Corral is the perfect example of why players opt out of bowl games.
Yeah. I would tell you that this is the opportunity. This is one of those things this league is for. Matt Corral, if he comes in and has the kind of season that, Holtz's quarterbacks have had in the past. Forgetting the guy's name who was the league MVP. Who was his name last year? He's on the Seahawks roster, the Packers roster.
I can't say his name.
Yeah, but he's on the roster. He's there all year long. He was on the practice squad and the roster all year long, backing up Love there in Green Bay. So,
you look at Brandon Autry.
Yeah,
he was one of the great stories for the Cowboys this year.
Yep. Yeah. So there's only so many. Magoo. Thank you, Forrester. Magoo.
Alex Magoo. Yeah.
Alex Magoo. Our show being brought to you by our friends at Redmont Vodka, Redmont Distilling. Charles Barkley's vodka. Served now in over how many states?
22 states right now. Ask for it by name at your local bar, local restaurant. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. 8 times distilled, gluten-free, locally owned and operated. Fantastic fantastic product. It is Redmont Vodka.
Hey, TNR Sharkbait and the Lions comment section and news article reporting 85% price increase and more for preferred seating there in Detroit.
Cash in while you can.
Yeah, 85% seems like a lot. I'd like to know if they had a big discount over the years when they've sucked a lot.
Yeah, I would want credit for time served if I'm a Lions fan before I pay an 85% increase.
That's ridiculous. You have one special season and you're going to jam people up that much?
I think I'm right about this, Forrester, Tyler. Anybody wants to fact check me here? Maybe you guys heard it yesterday too. But I think Texas, as they come to the SEC, is actually lowering their ticket prices.
Yeah, I saw people talking about it on social media. I did not see any official release from Texas, but I saw that they are lowering season ticket prices.
That's shocking. Look, I know it's, hey, look, we got Texas, or we're Texas, we've got all the money in the world. Now we're going to the money conference where they just paid out $51 million per school.
That's why they're doing it, is the increase that they're going to get from the SEC.
Yeah, I get that, but why would you have to drop it at all? At least just maintain your price point right now. You've got a better home schedule than you've ever had.
My guess would be, it's just a guess on my part, I'm not inside the doors of Texas, is if we drop season ticket prices just a little bit, we're easily going to make that up in the money we get from the SEC, and it might increase contributions to our collective, which is how we stay good, which is how we make more money. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, or you just say we're going to keep the ticket price the same, and you don't tell your boosters, but you shoot back 10% to the collective.
Yeah. I don't know if they can do that.
Another thing is that the SEC travels better on the road than the Big 12 does, those teams. So bigger fan bases coming to Austin will fill
sit
up
in the upper deck.
will fill up the edges.
Yes.
They'll fill up the edges that you don't get in Big 12 games where you've got some empty seats. So you're actually going to sell a few more seats there. So, and another thing that I like what they're doing, they're ripping up the turf and they're going.
Yeah, I saw that too.
They're going sod.
I don't think it's good business. Like I think Arthur Blank and what Atlanta does with their price point on their concessions, that's good business. This doesn't really make sense. I mean, Texas is coming off their first ever college football playoff appearance. They're going into the SEC. There's never been this much demand for tickets.
But I don't know that. I don't know if they sold out of season tickets. I assume they did.
Alabama fans checking in. Steve and Charles, season ticket holders. Ours have gone up $50 per game this year. Steve's. Charles says ours are up again. And as is the required contribution to buy the season tickets.
See, to me that's bullshit that you continue to jam people up year in, year out. But Texas to go backwards is unheard of. You've got Georgia on that schedule. That Georgia-Texas ticket should be worth probably the season ticket package. I mean, if both of those teams are undefeated, that could be number 1 versus number 2 in Austin.
Easily, yeah. I mean, Ohio State they could gum that up a little bit, but you're absolutely right. That could easily be a 1 versus 2.
I know they've tried to do this in the past, but what would keep, say, Auburn for hiring Steve Sushi of ATEX?
Okay.
And
is he selling raw fish as well?
And he controls the
Rockstar was already laughing.
secondary market,
right?
For Auburn tickets. That the only place you can resell would be like they hire ATEX.
Oh, people already do that. They've already got your official reseller. It's not the only place you could do it, but it's your official.
And they somehow set it up where only ATEX could handle Auburn resells for basketball and football. Alabama.
How are you going to enforce that, though? Like if Lance has 4 season tickets, he can sell them anywhere he wants to.
Put it in the fine print on the ticket that these cannot be transferred only through.
Well, it's just like you tell the NFL you can't resell your Super Bowl tickets. How many people do that? 90%?
Well, publicly on the air, Ryan Kelly showed us 0% admit it.
Yeah. He pretty much admitted on the air that he sold his tickets.
He did, but he didn't admit it. I'm just saying that there's extra money to be made out there, and then you funnel all that into
You need to just write a book of ideas. Business ideas.
Make it a toilet book.
I'm just off the top of my head. That's an extra money for Alabama, Auburn to throw into the collective. Is we're the only ones that can resell our tickets. We're the only ones. If you can sell them back to us, but we're going to resell them.
I think it's nearly impossible.
See, I mean,
just because you can't monitor that.
When I'm reading this tweet, Texas so from Anwar Richardson, Scott is showing the ticket price plan. Del Conte says they've reduced ticket prices to make games more affordable. They do not want to, quote, jack up the prices because Texas was entering the SEC in 2024. The last sentence, I think, is key. They want to pack the house.
Right, because they struggle doing that.
I think they were struggling to pack the house, which is the only reason you would drop ticket prices.
That's really sad.
It's a big stadium.
Alan says, Jim, you're violating antitrust laws. Hey, look, though, would you not tune into C-SPAN as I testify in front of Congress?
In my America.
Yeah. You say that's a big stadium.
It is a big stadium.
Oh, it's over 100,000.
No, I know it's a big stadium, but I mean, how many big stadiums out there from Penn State to Michigan to Alabama have problems packing the place out?
For some games, they all do, I think, on the perimeters.
I get that.
But for the good ones, no, and Texas's schedule just improved tremendously.
Okay, but let me ask you this. If you want to go to a Texas game, and we'll just say the Texas-Florida game, and it's the difference between $110 or $100, do you think anybody really, oh, man, that $10 is going to, I'm going to get off the couch and I'm going now?
No, but at least it's not going up. Brown, give me Texas's home schedule this year.
I've got it right here.
Okay, give me their home schedule. Oklahoma's obviously neutral site, so that takes away
you got Colorado State to open the season. You've got Texas San Antonio. You've got La Monroe. I mean, just an awful out of conference. You're going to Michigan.
There's one reason you're dropping prices. That's an awful out.
But you're going to Michigan. You're going to get them back the next year.
Yeah, so here are your in-conference. You've got Mississippi State at home.
Okay, Mississippi State compared to the Big 12 right now. That's like Kansas.
That's like
town.
I guess.
I mean, there's no excitement there. I give you that.
Yeah. Mississippi State's, Kansas is pretty good in the Big 12 now. Mississippi State's,
Oklahoma neutral site, as you said. Georgia coming in. I mean, that's
huge.
Yeah, there's not a comparison.
There's no comparison to the Big 12.
That's right, because their best comparison, they play neutral site every year.
Oklahoma.
Georgia's coming. That's their best conference home game in the history of Texas football.
Yeah, and then you've got Florida and Kentucky at home, and that's it.
It's not a great home schedule. No, that's another reason they're dropping.
You could have somehow worked in A&M and Austin this year along with Georgia.
Yeah, now you got something. I guarantee you prices go up next year.
That's what I was about to say, Brown. Mark it right here.
That's right.
They've lowered the price this year because you just saw why. You're getting those black and white generic labels except for the Georgia game.
You got one good game.
Next year, you get Michigan, you get Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You get those guys coming here.
That's
now.
You'll probably get an Alabama and LSU or something like that as well, I would have to imagine.
Oh, do we not have the return games already for next year yet?
They've only announced the one-year schedule. You don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, man, if they get past Michigan, Texas has got a really beneficial schedule.
They do. Yeah. But that is not a good home schedule. You could see why they would choose this year to say, hey, we're going to give a little something back to the fans going to the SEC.
But I think giving
prices.
Like if you actually put the statement out there, we appreciate the support. We love the direction. We love the fact that we're going into the SEC. You know what we're not going to do? We're not going to raise ticket prices.
You would almost feel like you won, right?
Yeah, that would be a win. So I just don't understand this model of business where you go backwards.
Yeah, I understand. All right, top of the hour. Some interesting college football news other than ticket prices when we come back on the show. That's being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Hey, not just wonderful steaks and meats there as well, but I love just going in for their wine selection. It's elite to me. I go there and pick out great bottles of wine all the time.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's kind of a treat in itself. If you just want to swing by there, pick up one of the great desserts and a bottle of wine, the wife, the girlfriend, they're going to absolutely love that. But stop into the New York Butcher Shop. Go see Jim and the fine folks there. They are the absolute best. And if you're looking for a big-time lunch, they've got that sandwich station. To me, the sandwiches are almost impossible to eat by themselves. I think you've knocked one out by yourself, have you not?
Oh, multiple times.
But it's one of those you can eat half there, take the other half home. It's just a fantastic place. 2 locations, the original in Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well done service.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with Walk-Ons. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Bandwagon wants to remind you that baseball and softball season is right around the corner and their shelves are stocked with everything your kid needs. From grip tape to gloves to custom uniforms, Bandwagon has all the gear, big and small, for those ballpark days. Until February 3rd, you spend $100 on baseball or softball equipment and Bandwagon will give you $20 off. Just tell them the next round sent you. Visit locations in Cahaba Heights, Homewood, and Trustful, or go online to bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, Auburn gets the big win last night over number 11 in the country, South Carolina, 101-61. We talked to Jay Bilas in the first hour about his thoughts on Auburn and coming for game day this week, and his thoughts on Alabama moving forward with Texas A&M this week. Here's Bruce Pearl after the win over South Carolina last night. Not a quad one win, but a win over number 11 in the AP poll.
After a slow start, we made shots and played with great freedom. I think the other thing too was important was we also disrupted them offensively. We turned them over. We were aggressive and made plenty of offense out of our defense. And we compliment South Carolina. I told you before the game, that's the SEC Coach of the Year right there. To be picked last in the league and to be he's 20-4 right now, and that's how South Carolina's played all year long. They just played to win. Tonight we just played exceptionally well.
Yeah, not many times you're going to lose the game when you hit 61% from the floor, and that's what Auburn did last night, and a big win for them. Samford won as well. They've won 23 of 24, and in the last 24 games, they've won 23 of them. Shore with 18 last night. They're 22-3 on the year. Bilas gives you a comment about Bucky McMillan wherever you get our podcast, video and audio-wise. This hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Legacy. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com for the annual Swap and Drop promotion that's back. What that is whether you have a car loan, a boat, a camper, a motorcycle, or even an ATV, you can swap your current loan provider to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payments. It's that easy. It's called Swap and Drop. Just apply online in minutes at swapanddrop.com. Swapanddrop.com. It's back with Legacy. You can go to any of the 9 area branches here in the Birmingham area, or you can apply online. Swapanddrop.com. Swapanddrop.com. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. It's Legacy Credit Union, federally insured by the NCUA.
Would you guys worry about Bruce leaving?
I would not.
I would not, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you made a good point to Jay Bilas. Like, college athletics was different 10, 15 years ago. If the Louisville job came open and the Auburn coach could get it, he'd jump in a heartbeat. You got to look right now at the Louisville job in the ACC. They've got the worst television contract of any of the major conferences. Correct, Jim? I'm 100% right in that, right?
The ACC.
They're locked into a long-term deal with ESPN. That is paying them well below market value in comparison to the Big Ten, the SEC, and even the Big 12.
I like the ACC contract better than the Big 12 because
most people don't.
I think they're going to give me a little bit more juice down the road.
Okay, so you like the future of it.
Right,
you don't like
right.
the current contract.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
That is a complete unknown.
Yeah.
At very best, even if you're right, it's still an unknown. So if I've got an open job that's Louisville, it's got all right. So let's talk about what Louisville has going for you.
History.
Okay.
Yep. Arena.
Okay. Well, Auburn's not going to match Louisville's history. They're darn sure going to match the arena.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a wash.
Well, one's 23,000, but it's state-of-the-art, considered the best basketball arena in the country. The other one's 9,100 in one of the greatest atmospheres in the country.
Right, so
two different things.
Which one helps me win more games?
Yeah, I would call it a wash, though.
Yeah, I mean, size, it's going to go Louisville, but size of arena, any man will tell you size isn't everything.
You can end the Auburn discussion with one thing. Bruce's age. What is Bruce?
He's 64.
Yeah, look, and here's the other thing.
I got him at 2 more years.
He's making
I don't know. He coached a long time.
$5.5 million. I think he's the 5th highest paid coach right now in college basketball. He's making more than $2 million, more than Kenny Payne's making right now. I said this years ago. I think there's something about loyalty. Once you got to a Final Four, you know that you could actually win a championship here. I think there is a lot of loyalty, and more so the age and the fact that Steven seems set up seamless transition. Right. Why would you want to disrupt that at all?
I do 2 years. Justin Hokanson last night, this was all off the record, but I don't think Justin would mind me telling you. We're having a cocktail before. By the way, thank you for breaking my vow I was going to do with alcohol. I'm riding down there with Eve or better known as Taylor Corn, and we get to the Garden of Eden at 3:57 in Auburn.
Eat this apple.
And she's sitting there going, well, we were here way early. Let's go answer some of these questions over a beer. And I was like, well, I'll drink water or Diet Coke. And she's like, are you really going to do that? And
you are the worst when it comes to peer pressure. Like, I bet you were terrible.
But I did the bread. That's us having drinks last night. Overheard, table behind us, two girls. One girl says, I wish my dad had come visited me on Valentine's Day on campus.
That's spectacular. I wish Taylor had caught that.
She tweeted it out.
I saw her tweet it out. I just wanted the video.
I talk to my kids about the peer pressure thing a lot, especially Jack. He doesn't concern me much. Like, if you would have been my kid, I'd be like, hey, you got no chance. You go to a party and you see somebody doing it, you're going to do it.
Yeah. But I did eat my dinner last night without the bread. So I did make it the whole day, no bread.
So one day in, you've given up. You've already gotten rid of half of your...
No, you told me it didn't count.
Yeah, you told him it wasn't going to matter. You told him he shouldn't even do it.
No, I told you to give something else out beside alcohol.
Yeah,
well, that's what he did.
Bread.
Yeah.
I'm not eating bread.
No, but did you not say that you were giving up bread and alcohol?
I did, but you spent hours yesterday, it felt like, telling me that it did not matter.
Well, it doesn't, because you're supposed to give up something that you really like.
And I think we call her Little T for a reason, because you're Big T, and I think Little T chimes in on the way down too. Are you really going to give up alcohol with 357?
Well, no, I thought it was easy for you to give up alcohol. That was my whole point. Is like you don't drink much.
It is. I'm not going to have a lot of alcohol the rest of the way.
So why are you busting his balls for it?
No, I'm saying because.
But I had a nice cold.
Holy shit! How can you guys not see this?
I really can't, Lance. You're going to have to
Very
clear it up for
simple.
me.
When you give up something for Ash Wednesday for the 40 days of Lent,
right?
You give up something that is kind of a punishment, something that you really are sacrificing.
We did give up bread.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but he's the one that came on and said, "I'm giving up bread and alcohol," and I'm like, "Why are you giving up alcohol? You really don't care about it."
But that's my point. So why are you busting his balls for having a drink now?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that was easy to give up for him. I'm saying you should have given something else up besides alcohol. It was stupid for him to give up alcohol.
In fairness, Maggie agreed with him this morning. We were going over what she was giving up, I was giving up. And she goes, I was going to give up alcohol too, but LT says I don't love alcohol enough to give it up. And she said, he's right, you don't.
Yeah.
You could stop. You could have...
That'd be like her giving up meat.
Yeah, you could go the rest of your life and not have another sip of alcohol.
Yeah.
You
and
could.
It's not a big deal.
So
she said you should give up. You should give up Diet Coke. And I was like,
That's a sponsor.
I
You
did
can't.
that a couple of times. And Brown said he refuses to work with me again when I will not.
That is accurate.
Well, I think this would help the family. Chase is right. Give up parlays.
I would, but I'm hot. I hit one last night. Hello, Tennessee, Clemson, and Utah State.
Oh, Clemson was the free play. Free play's red hot right now. 7 of the last 8 at Lance'sLive.com. Lance'sLive.com. So what did Hope tell you? I think we got a bit sidetracked.
Yeah, we did. I completely forgot.
We're having cocktails pregame because we got there at 3:57.
I thought you gave up cocktails.
So I go, I only think Bruce has 2 more years in him, and then he's going to turn it over to Steve.
Now, this may be the first sip talking.
and Hoke said, oh, Bruce coaches a lot more than 2 more years.
Oh, I would agree completely. Why would he give it up?
Yeah, I think it is more than 2 years. I don't know a lot longer.
He's making good money. Well,
I mean, Bruce worries me on the sideline because it's much like Bobby Huggins. He is so intense.
Yeah.
You're just like, damn, is he going to fall out and have a cardiac?
To this day, the only coach I've ever seen actually pass out on the sideline was Tom Penders, and he got a technical for it.
Because he fell onto the court.
Yes, you remember that?
Yeah.
Were you at that game?
No.
It was a UAB Houston game. I remember me and Dunaway were at the game, and Tom Penders, rock star, he got lightheaded and he fainted during the game, and he falls on the court, and the ref goes, tease
No, it was
right
the
up.
one in the NCAA tournament. They had a buzzer beater, and the guy.
That was Hunter. Was his last name? Georgia State.
He fell on the court.
Yeah, he had a torn ACL.
Yeah.
He
had a little mobile rascal he was scooting around on.
Now, they teed Penders up for passing out, and then literally had to stretcher him off the court. And then I think he did, and everybody clapped. And you know what they did so awkward? Shot the free throws for the technical. Like the guy had already called the tee. I don't think you can wipe it.
Yeah, it's almost like sportsmen like, hey, let's miss these. Or let's say we don't want them. But Penders ended up having a heart attack. Now, I think it was on a treadmill. But my point is, Bruce is getting a little older. I think he's got a lot of coaching left, but he does worry me a little bit with how intense he is.
What's his official age?
Oh, I
will tell you right now.
Look it up while I finish my thought here.
I will say that it is 64.
64 is my guess.
That's what I said was 64. Now, here's what Louisville does have going for them that a lot of ACC schools do not.
He is 63.
They have got
64 in March.
the Yum Brands brand behind them. That is a very large company that is active in that city. In fact, they play in the Yum Brand Center. So I think in terms of NIL, they've probably got something they could draw from there that other schools in the ACC would struggle with because of the TV contract.
And they are one of the top tiers like Kansas in the Adidas world.
Yeah, but you have to answer the question, is Bruce getting told no on players he wants to pay NIL money to get? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It doesn't seem as though he is.
Bruce gets told nothing at all.
It really doesn't seem like he does. It seems like Bruce could do absolutely anything he wanted.
He could change the basketball uniform colors to purple and gold tomorrow, and they'd be like, okay,
there is so much to that, having full autonomy. I was having a conversation with somebody. First of all, I got to stop real quick. That is one of the more interesting comments I think I've ever seen with Chris.
Chris says, I gave up women 15 years ago. I'll raise my kids and die alone. I'm happy with that. No bitching, no hormonal life. Rage's life is quieter. Interesting.
Wow.
Okay. 15 years. That's a long time to go there. Yeah.
But I was having this discussion with somebody today about...
It is the greatest rivalry game of all time. since the Garden of Eden, men versus women. You can go Army, Navy, all you want. Men versus women.
I think you guys will agree. We had pretty much... we didn't really answer to anybody. Even me in sales. They had some kind of stupid thing that I was... supposed to be talking about what's in my funnel and
this is where we work for Cumulus.
Yeah, but I just didn't do any of that stuff because we were doing a show too, and there was a lot of stuff. But you never know when that person is going to come in and they are going to demand that this is the way things are.
That's right.
And Bruce never has to worry about that at all.
He doesn't. And I was going to ask you guys, the other point I was going to make is you mentioned Bruce is already making more than Kenny Payne, but I think everybody at Louisville realizes you had Kenny Payne on the cheap because he played there and he was an assistant coach. If you really want to turn this program around,
that's what you get with 12 and 45.
That's right. If you really want to turn this program around at Louisville, you're going to have to come off the hip. You're going to have to pay big. Do you think Auburn would match anything Louisville offers?
Yep,
I do too.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I don't know where Louisville could go where Auburn would say, "No, we're going to let Bruce Pearl walk."
Yeah, but see, I don't think it's and Rod gives me a hard time because I mentioned Nate and I don't mention Bruce for a job here or there. Well, I mean, the difference is Nate's in his 40s, right?
Yeah, I would say Nate's 47?
Nate's in his 40s.
I think he's my age, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's 47.
And considered to be one of the hottest rising coaches in the country. And I'm not saying he's ever going to leave Alabama. I'm just saying every time one of these jobs open up, you're going to hear Nate Oates' name. You might as well get comfortable with it because he's one of the hottest, fastest rising coaches in America. If you didn't pay attention last year, Rod from Spartanburg, it's because they were number one overall in the seeding. Alabama was at the top of the game.
Yeah, that's
Nate Oates had them there. You know where they are yesterday in Lenardi? Where are they?
They're a 2 seed.
They're a 2 seed.
Yeah.
And a totally different looking team.
He's
doing a hell of a job. So any job opening, Nate Oates' name is going to be down there. Rod
and you
from
want
Spartanburg.
That. You know that your program is in a really good place if your guy continues to get mentioned. The only thing that would scare me with Nate is the arena, is the facility.
And again, I said it at the end of the show, and Jim told me, and I was unaware even of this. I wondered where this came from, but apparently there was some discussion of this at the tip-off club when Nate was speaking there Monday. Just watch over the next couple weeks or months to see if any of this develops, but there could be an arena that is funded by someone that is not the University of Alabama and not the city of Tuscaloosa. There's a group that has done this, and they did it in Austin, and I was completely unaware of this. The Moody Center, Bless the Mood in Austin, I thought was owned by the University of Texas. In fact, is not.
Oh, we talked about it. I remember.
Okay, I don't remember that
on the show because Texas has blackout dates for those events, men's and women's basketball. I don't know if they do gymnastics. I don't know anything, but they black out some dates at Texas for that.
Yeah, if you could find a situation where a group comes in and funds the whole deal, and Alabama is comfortable with the number of dates that they get to black out in that venue.
I think
it is built close enough to the campus that it makes sense.
I think the Mannings are involved with that group.
They could be. I know the Mannings were involved with a group that was buying up music venues.
Yep. Because I think they've got Iron City here.
At one point, I was told they were in the process of buying Iron City. I don't know if that ever went through.
I think it's a great idea. Like if you give Alabama 100 dates, the university, and then you've got 265 dates to put on concerts and other things, I think it's a win-win for the city.
Yeah, and especially if you don't have any money invested in it.
Depends on where you build it. But there are, I don't want to redesign Tuscaloosa, but there's a few buildings downtown I could get rid of.
Oh, yeah, I think you got to have it on campus.
Yeah, why would you just not destroy the hangar?
Well, because you'd have to play 2 years in Birmingham, and I just don't think people have an appetite for all your home games in Birmingham, especially the way Alabama plays in Birmingham.
So you think it would go on campus?
On or adjacent. And I don't know, like that Bryce property, Alabama actually now owns, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
that's further
visible.
away. That's further away than what I'm even talking about, Brown. I'm talking about
where are you going to put it downtown? You're talking about just off the strip.
You know what you could
just
do?
Off Paul Bryant.
You
raised above that graveyard. No, just but a few blocks
hovering above the graveyard.
I think it's Calvary Baptist. A few blocks over there, there's some housing there that I would buy up at a nice price. And
I think the easy way
right there,
but there's too much housing. I think the easy, and you got a graveyard over there. I think the easy way to do this is do it on the intramural fields. And then you put the intramural fields once you've got it completed where Coleman is.
Yeah, you can do that.
You just flip-flop it.
Yeah.
You got a lot of space there.
Yeah, eat up the IM fields and then give them that land where Coleman's on.
Let's see, I don't think it'll go on campus, but if it does go on campus and you've got to rent out dates, I mean, you've got to have a practice facility.
Well, they've got that.
You got Foster.
Yeah,
right?
that's part of the Coleman Coliseum complex there.
Yeah, but I'm sure you could raise Coleman and keep the practice facility.
Okay,
I mean,
but you've got also office space in there.
Right,
Where's that? You're going to have to build a new office building?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to level Coleman and build a new office building, but not build our own arena. We're going to let this other company make money.
Yeah, I can build an office building way cheaper than I'm building an arena.
You can. I would just keep Coleman.
Well, I mean, you can. I mean, we're lost in the weeds on that. But I don't know the legalities of putting a privately funded building on state property.
That's where I don't think
you can. That's why I'm saying build it adjacent. Now,
I don't know. I mean, you think about, so somebody just brought up Arby's. I mean, who owns the property of that Arby's?
Well, I don't think the University of Alabama
does not.
The state of Alabama doesn't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying adjacent property, which Arby's would be that. And, find the adjacent property where you can buy a ton of land, so you got plenty of parking, and build the venue.
Because this company is going to make a boatload of money because the great amphitheater over there, you're bound by weather there. Now all of a sudden you've got Chris Stapleton and you've got Noah Kahan rolling in for a concert in November or February that the college kids will go pack out this arena.
Well, and Rockstar, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean,
you're making money.
We're almost back in the golden age of band tours, right?
Oh yeah, that's the newest thing is celebrating anniversaries of albums. We're going to play this album in full.
Yeah.
This 25 years ago, this came out. Like Alanis Morissette did it, Matchbox 20's done it. All these bands are doing it because it's like we don't have to have a new product to go on tour. Look, Sea Journey, for example.
Yeah,
we just need to tour every summer. I mean, and people are going.
Yeah, the nostalgic bands. I mean, do you guys want to go hear Def Leppard do new stuff? I'm really past that point. They got enough material.
I'd rather just go hear them sing the stuff I grew up
Rolling
on.
Stones just released a new album, Crazy, I know, but they are going to start a tour and it'll be massive. They're coming to Atlanta, I believe.
But then you'll be like even if I still like the Stones, which I really don't, I wouldn't buy their new stuff.
No.
So if I was sitting through those 6 or 7 new songs, I'd be like, damn, let's get
a bathroom break.
Like if I go to the Sphere to see U2, I don't want any of their new stuff.
No. I don't want that stuff Apple forced on me. I want the hits.
That's why I think, the Killers are kicking out all new stuff all the time now, late money grabbing their career. But when I went and saw them, it was the best time because they had not released a new album in years, and it was just their hits. And it was the best concert. It was at a festival. It was tight little 90 minutes, and boom, boom,
But
hit.
my point was,
everybody That was the Alabama plan.
That's when Alabama was paying for it. That's not when some private, firm was paying for it.
Yeah, but you got people driving from all over. I mean, there would be a ton of Birmingham people going to a Tuscaloosa concert if it was...
If Chris Stapleton, now he's coming to Birmingham, and I don't plan to go see him, so this is probably hypocritical of me to say.
But you saw him already in Columbus.
I saw him in Columbus, but I would drive to Tuscaloosa to
Well,
see Chris Stapleton
here's an
live.
example. So my ex and Leighton are going to see Pete Davidson tonight. And Rockstar brought this up. He has a show in Mobile and a show in Huntsville. They had a hotel room, and they were getting tickets to go to Huntsville to see Pete Davidson. By the way, he sold out in 30 minutes at the Comedy Club Stardome.
Did he really?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a big name.
I'm just saying.
Good for Stardome, good for Pete.
People will travel a couple of hours to, I've driven to Atlanta for a lot of different
especially in a college town, if you can bring in acts that college kids like.
That's right.
You can pack out a 10, 15,000 seat arena easy.
I remember being in Tuscaloosa as a student, driving to Beard Eves to see Lenny Kravitz and the Colt. You know, and then I forgot what that drive. What is that? An hour and a half, hour and 45 from Tuscaloosa to Auburn.
82.
Well worth it.
I mean, who was the young lady that was in the suite with Taylor Swift? Ice Spice.
Ice Spice.
Yeah.
The best was seeing Jason
Gibson.
Kelsey in his luchador mask at their after party talking to Ice Spice. I mean, what was that conversation? Could he even make a sentence?
I love Jason Kelsey. I really do like Jason Kelsey. I'm
do
not the
too.
biggest Travis fan, but I do like Jason. And it was like everybody was around Taylor Swift, and you could tell they were trying to mind their P's and Q's. And they cut to his brother, and he's got on a luchador mask.
Yep. Up there
It's
with
phenomenal.
Up there with Marshmallow, who has a big bucket on his head like a marshmallow.
And Marshmallow's from like Finland. He doesn't even know who the hell these guys are.
They're great podcast, New Heights. Yesterday they addressed the Jason Travis podcast addressed Travis attacking Andy Reid, and he's like.
Did you listen to this?
Yeah.
Jason was critical of him, wasn't he?
Jason was critical. It says you overstepped the bound, not only with touching him, just the way you were talking to him. And he said, I did. If Andy Reid retired right now, I'm retiring. I'm only playing with Big Red. I apologize. I apologized to him afterwards.
Shut it down, Andy.
But he said we've got a relationship where he knows I'm competitive. He's competitive. It's why our relationships work together. Jason called him out several times during the interview. You just can't do that, man. You know, one of your biggest hindrances, obstacles in your life has always been your temper. And Travis was like, it is. And, I'd work hard to keep it under control. And it got the best of me because we were not doing anything at that time. And I wanted us to win so bad. Andy came back over to me during a timeout and said, calm down. I'm going to get you the ball. It's going to work out. And they just have had that relationship over and over. And, and Jason made a point at the end. If Andy had had a real problem with it, you would not have seen Travis go back into the game.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, he'd be back.
Oh, yeah.
Jason plays the game.
Okay.
Jason's in the NFL. You think if Andy really had a problem with him?
He's completely wrong. Yeah.
He wouldn't have put him back in the game.
He would have put him back in.
Even if he had a problem
Yes.
with it. Well, he doesn't seem to have a problem with it after they won. So.
Well, of course. They won.
Yeah. They're going to be together, I guess, unless they get traded in the offseason.
I heard the best girl told me yesterday that Travis Kelsey looks like every state trooper in Alabama. He does look like a state trooper.
Hell yeah. Some aviators.
That's so good.
Last night at Odie's, what was the question of the night?
The question last night was, what came first, Usher or Whole Foods?
Oh, I would guess Usher.
Our man Will Haver knew who founded Whole Foods, the year, the city.
You say Applebee's. He's like, it's based in Atlanta.
I would say Usher, but it does sound like a trick question because I didn't become aware of Whole Foods until into the 2000s.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, Whole Foods seems very, very new to
but
me.
it feels like a trick question.
Yeah, it does. I'm still going to go Usher, though.
I mean, you see these brands that have blown up, and they start with a one-off somewhere.
One shop.
So Usher, 1978. Whole Foods, 1980, Austin, Texas.
It's closer than I would have thought.
18 employees they started out with. I think they've blown it up a little bit. These are the little nuggets you get when you come to Odie's for a little team trivia. We do that every Wednesday night at the Crestline location. The newest location is in Homewood. Get out, enjoy great food. You guys are going to love the romantic in me. So I took Maddie. We had dinner plans last night. Got a little sidetracked on time.
That's right.
We ended up going to Odie's, and she had a corn dog and absolutely loved it.
What a Valentine.
The old Valentine. Will came up behind me. He's like, dude, you got a man right there that's buying you a corn dog for Valentine's.
Your first Valentine's together as well.
But I will tell you, the corn dog.
That's a good meal.
I did the corn dog and chili not long ago. They've got delicious burgers, great sandwiches. Stop in. Ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. 2 locations. It's Odie's Tavern.
Your girl loves a corn dog.
She likes corn dogs.
Yeah,
it's a good meal.
Because I went over and did the drawing for the big board.
Well, you bring one every time you come by.
And I was leaving.
You like hot dogs.
I literally said, just the thing. I just was like, hey, is there anything I can bring back for the party? And she goes, would you stop and get me a large lemonade and a corn dog from this place? And I was like, absolutely. And so I got her a corn dog and a huge lemonade.
Yeah, and so she threw the remnants of the corn dog away with all the ketchup and mustard packs, left the dogs upstairs for a little bit, went up there.
No.
Those condiment packs were all over the place.
The dogs ate the condiment packs?
Of course they did.
Yeah, they're just trying to get a hold of something.
I smell food.
They ate the corn dog stick, the wooden sticks?
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably shit it out in the back.
If you didn't find 2 of them, I promise you I know where they are.
So every other day I go, and I did it yesterday, and bag up the crap, and I'll find like their toys, like
Hot Wheels.
all kinds of stuff.
Oh, Lance, that's awful.
Yeah, I found a piece of burnt wood that Chili had eaten.
Okay, let us know if you would like a new Twitter or Instagram page strictly for Bullet and Chili's poop.
So it's like
LT just finds us what he finds in their
it's
poop
like
every day.
Every year when Talladega does the Left Behind, like
Yes.
all the stuff everybody left behind, Lance can just take photos of the stuff they crap out.
They really crap it out.
We're back in a moment with more college football news. The show being brought to you as well by our friends at UCA, Urology Centers of Alabama. We've all had friends who have been touched with some physical issues, and sometimes the story doesn't end well. Oftentimes, if you got early detection, it ends great, and that's what our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama want to remind you. 35 urologists, 16 locations across Alabama, one near you where you can make an appointment here early in 2024 to make sure everything's purring right on that engine inside of you right now. From prostate health to kidney stones, all your urological needs, Urology Centers of Alabama will take care of you. UrologyCentersAlabama.com to make an appointment. UrologyCentersAlabama.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Bandwagon wants to remind you that baseball and softball season is right around the corner and their shelves are stocked with everything your kid needs. From grip tape to gloves to custom uniforms, Bandwagon has all the gear, big and small, for those ballpark days. Until February 3rd, you spend $100 on baseball or softball equipment and Bandwagon will give you $20 off. Just tell them The Next Round sent you. Visit locations in Cahaba Heights, Homewood, and Trustful, or go online to bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit UrologyCentersAlabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Michelson Laser Vision bringing you part of the show here. We're about to show you something. And in life, you're going to see some big things. This is not going to be the biggest thing you've ever seen, but I know it's going to excite you, a lot of you. Michelson Laser Vision, making sure you're seeing everything, the big things and the small things, really well.
Yeah, make 2024 the year of sight. If you've been procrastinating, thinking about going to see if LASIK is right for you, now is the time to make the phone call. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Ask her about the inflation pricing. She's going to hook you up with that. It's a number that I called more than 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision, legally blind without the aid of contacts. Now 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. 205-969-8100 or online, michelsonlaservision.com.
It hits different. It's one of my favorite sayings. No setup at all. Rockstar, just hit the button.
Got something special for y'all. A little update for our fans from the big house to the bayou, from Carolina to California. Yeah, it's about college football. We know you love it. Us too. The rivalries, comebacks, the traditions and superstitions built by generations. There's nothing like it. Turns out, we've been building too. So let's address the big owl in the room. Yeah. We've seen the posts, the predictions, the doubts. We get it. It's been a minute. Let's just say this ain't the only jersey we've been working on. The game this sport deserves. 'Cause pretty soon, this place will be full again. Until then, cue the crowd noise.
A full reveal this May. College Football 25 coming this summer. Full reveal may not be release date in May. I think they've been saying July on the release date. But, boy, if it comes out in May, I've got my summer plans.
It looks like they shot that during a UCLA game. It's cool and all. I mean, I don't even own a system, so it doesn't fire me up the same way it fires you up. I have not played a video game in quite a while.
Oh, man, I loved it in college, but I
did
really
too.
haven't played since early 30s, probably.
We used to have fun playing the mascots.
Yeah,
I did not like that.
I
never
never liked
liked
it.
it.
It was just kind of funny, like seeing the Sun Devil smiling and running the football.
Listen, I tolerate Madden only because they stopped making the college game.
Oh, Madden smoked college game.
I love the college game because of the. I mean, we're different people. We have to realize that you like Madden. I prefer the college game more. The Madden probably plays better. I'm just not an NFL guy. I love the college game. I love all the weird stuff that's in there. There was one-time LT where I think your team could get on probation for illegal recruiting.
I really don't know.
Glad they don't have that
if you play
anymore.
the dynasty mode.
Yeah, you could control how much you cheated in recruiting, right? Like how much you
how risky you
yeah
were.
how risky you were, and you could get them
try to get a big recruit to say Mississippi State.
Do they have NIL in this one?
I don't know
They're
yet.
going to have to.
I don't know. Full reveal coming in May. Cannot wait to see
a salary cap.
See everything they have there. I hope they already, and surely they do, already have a 12-team playoff built in to where you're not just doing the 4-team playoff. Hopefully it's a 12-team. Surely they thought of that. Maybe they're forward thinking and let you adjust how many playoff teams you get. So just in case it doesn't get outdated if we got 16 by the time we kick off this season.
Well, yeah, I mean, anymore now you can do updates, so that's a quick software update, right, to a 16-team playoff.
Yeah, sometimes they make you buy other ones. Troy likes the college versus Madden. I do think historically, though, every year the Madden game grades out a lot better than the college game used to grade out.
Yeah, the only reason I say that is I think the year was 90 of the first Madden game.
Yeah.
And it's just, it is the OG.
Yeah,
And I remember
it absolutely plays better.
just randomly you would put in a matchup like Kansas City at Buffalo, and you would have a random snow game.
The thing I
just thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, the thing I liked about the Madden game was always playing with actual players, too. That was always the thing about the college game is
now you're going to have
will.
some players' names will be mentioned. Some will choose not to have their names mentioned, likenesses and all that. The players are making some money. Can't wait to see how that all works out. All right, another big college football story after Brownie tells us about Johnston RV Center.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV Center. I want to talk about the I-65 304 location. That is where they're having the RV sale prices this month.
because the RV show is not this weekend, but next weekend at the BJCC. We will be down there next Saturday with our friends from Johnston RV Center doing a live show. You can go see them anytime, but you can also get RV show pricing all month long right there at Johnston RV Center. Here is another way you can add to your savings, though. If you go to johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR, that is johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR, make an RSVP to the show or come into the lot there. You can get up to $1,000 in extra incentives. So you're already getting a low RV show pricing. Get an extra $1,000 in incentives. johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR.
Steven says if you have the new Madden and the new college football game, some of your coaches will leave the college football game to go to the NFL game because of the schedule. It's an easier calendar.
Between game 1 and game 2, I lost my head coach. Where did he go?
The OC is now the head coach, or the head coach is now the OC.
I just saw it again in that last break. Florida's offensive line coach going to the NFL. Yeah. It is an epidemic.
It is happening. It is happening. So too is helmet communications. The ACC, with no ruling power, they just voted unanimously yesterday, the ACC football coaches, in favor of helmet communications from the coordinators to a player on the field. Quarterback and linebacker is usually the way it goes, just like in the NFL. It will actually be discussed in a rules committee meeting coming up later this month. There's another big one I'm about to get to, but helmet communications, we all agreed this should happen.
Why would you not do this? I mean, the NFL's done it for, I can't remember the last time they haven't done it. And this is going to get rid of
sign stealing.
Yeah, the sign stealing and the very creative signs, which were kind of fun for a year or two.
Yeah.
I think they've kind of...
It'll also get rid of the people holding up skirts and things trying to block the signs going in on games.
And I mentioned this several years ago on the radio side and got a lot of negative feedback. We don't want this to be the NFL. But the thing I mentioned was the NFL has virtually eliminated delays of game by using this.
Yeah.
I say virtually. You'll still get a delay a game or two. And the NFL, I think, is a little...
Yeah, that second is a long second.
Yeah, they're a little soft on the way they call that, because what the NFL knows is while we need to enforce penalties, a delay a game is literally delaying the game. I have to blow my whistle, stop the play, turn on my microphone, announce the penalty, mark it off, respot. I mean, if you could eliminate that as a fan, wouldn't you want to eliminate that?
Absolutely. But here comes the biggest rule change that's going to be discussed that may not sit well with you. Maybe it does. They will discuss having the 2-minute warning in college football. Initially, everybody said, Brown, this is for an extra commercial break for the broadcast partner. Steve Shaw, our buddy here in Birmingham, as the head of the officials, says, it could be just blended into an already existing commercial break that you get with timeouts late into the game.
There are just some differences. Like, I like both of these, okay? Both of these. I like the fact that late in the game, the clock stops in the college game for first downs, because that adds an element of you're not really out of it, right? I could stop the clock. I've still got a chance. But I also like the NFL system in that it doesn't stop. And if a pass gets completed 30 yards down the middle, the 340-pound offensive lineman has to bust his tail. I mean, it is a fire drill to get those guys down there lined up set so they can snap it and spike it. I like both those.
Yeah, but let's keep them at each level.
That's what I'm saying,
is the fiber of the NFL. The 2-minute warning screams NFL. I love it because of the strategy. You've only got 2 timeouts, but you've got the 2-minute warning coming up. I do love the fact that the clock stops in college football, but I think putting a 2-minute warning in here, it's becoming too NFL-like.
Yeah, I like the 2-minute warning in the NFL.
It works for the NFL. Why put it in the college?
Yeah, I just don't know that the college has to have it.
Let's send out a poll question, Taylor, if you will, from our Twitter account there. 2-minute warning in college football. Are you in favor of it or not in favor of it? Keep it a simple question.
Well,
I don't know how I would feel about it, but there are. When do we do the rule? The
it's
clock
every other year.
No, the clock. Where's the clock changing? When is that? In the port, we put the new rules in that out of bounds only stops the clock with 4 minutes left or 2 minutes left?
That was already this year.
I know.
Yeah.
What time is it? Is it 4 minutes or 2 minutes? I'm asking.
Oh, I think 4 minutes. Yeah.
4 minutes. Okay. I was going to say if it's in the final 2 minutes, that does give you a stopping point to say, okay, now we've got these clock rules for the end, but it's 4 minutes. You're telling me.
I think that's right. I don't know. The 2-minute warning, I'm with Lance. It does feel, look, all we're doing is professionalizing college athletics. I guess we may as well embrace it all, right?
Because there are some NFL rules I wish college had, like down by contact. I like that rule in the NFL. I like that if the guy slips in the open field and there's a defender nowhere close to him, he can get up and run.
I'd be for that change tomorrow.
Yeah, why reward the defense for being nowhere near the play, right?
For playing in Tempe.
Yeah.
Why are we rewarding them?
I know, exactly.
I call it nostalgia, but like 1 foot in bounds. Like that is college.
Yeah. Well, see, I want to keep that because, I'm the best receivers in the world are in the NFL. And some of those great NFL receivers are in college, but they're not there yet. Let's keep the field open for the guys who aren't as good as the NFL, and we can make a 1 foot catch, not a 2 foot catch. I like that too, and I like stopping after first downs.
I would say though, I think what college fans would realize is the in-helmet communication will eliminate a lot of delays of game, which will save your timeouts. So I don't know that it's necessary to add the 2-minute warning. I think you're kind of adding a 2-minute warning by giving them the helmet communication because it's going to save so many timeouts.
Doesn't have to burn an early period timeout.
I would say the vast majority of early timeouts are delays of game.
How many times
trying to avoid a delay of game.
Nick Saban run up to the official when it was going 2-1, and then he'd either let it snap or see it's not going to happen and call a timeout.
Yeah, and it's frustrating as a fan because especially in the NFL, those timeouts are so valuable in the NFL. Like there are many times I'd rather my team take the delay than use the timeout.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised at college teams. My biggest pet peeve, this is my biggest pet peeve in college football coaching right now, is how they'll try to draw a team off sides. Or they'll come out and they'll put the punt team out and they'll let the clock run down and call timeout. I'm like, why are you calling timeout? Just take the delay.
Yeah. Don't
It's
waste
5
the timeout.
yards.
Yeah.
Don't waste the timeout.
DB King, if they're going to adopt anything from the NFL, maybe salary cap should be the way they go.
Oh, that's on the way. Trust me.
It is. All right. When we come back, Rockstar has our 4 downs today. We'll do that in the next segment and a lot more to do in the final hour of the show that's being brought to you in part today by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, the great folks there, LT.
205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. HempHillServices.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, it's in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Hey, Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. Do you want to help pay for my kids' college and look great while you're doing it? You need to go to The Next Round store. Everything from hats to short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, and much more. And we're adding new things all the time. Why would you not want to see my kids get a great college education and look great out in the public while you're doing it? Get the gear we wear all the time on the show, and there's only one place to get it. nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Lunsford's Beautiful Mind. He's not here, is he, today?
That beautiful mind is not here right now.
He's coming in after lunch, I think. I think he was had to be out this morning.
Rich, Tyler, do you know? I don't know where Rich was coming from. Is your name Rich, by the way, Tyler? My computer is getting really, 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 really hot these days, and then it's shutting down.
It might explode. You've heard that people are having problems with computers exploding. But the problem is like the acid that will come onto your skin and melt, and they can't do anything about it.
Thank you for giving Dunaway one more thing in life to worry about.
Could it be a fan problem? Are there fans in here?
Could be a battery problem.
Yes. It is?
Tyler, what should Jim do?
If you've got like an acidic smell that's kind of burning, that's when it's about to blow up. Remember, it smelled like a banana.
There
on
is
the
like
cell
something
phone?
that is going nonstop, even though I've closed it in here.
Yeah, it's probably the fan.
Yeah, that would be your fan running.
Yeah. What should Jim do, guys? What do y'all think?
Crypto.
Pretend he doesn't have a lot of money and doesn't want to buy a whole new computer.
Is that your computer you're using for mining all this crypto you're selling?
Yes. It does sound like we're working in the mines down there. My iPhone is not working, Grandpa. Show brought to you by our friends at Slice. Rockstar has our 4 downs today. Always a lot of fun. A fan issue, says Jay. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you, man.
I'll take it to the Apple Store if I were you.
4 locations of our friends at Slice. Got plans to go there tomorrow night. It's where Leighton Taylor wants to eat dinner. Local pizza, local ingredients. Some of the best pizzas out there, too. From the Soul Pie, the Bajalia Special, the Wing and a Prayer. Check it out. Go to slicebirmingham.com for more information.
First down.
Dunaway had some good answers last night if you want to reveal these.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's just a running joke.
What's a food that makes you think, how the hell did humans find out this was edible?
Always been oysters for me,
Oh, of course.
Rockstar. At some point, somebody took their loincloth off and they were swimming around in the water and they stepped on a shell that cut their foot. And they reached down, they grabbed it, and they picked it up, and they were like, I'm going to throw this thing away because it just cut my foot. And then they went, well, let me pop this open.
There's a pearl.
There's a pearl. Put that in my. Well, I don't have pockets yet. I haven't invented that. I'm gonna eat the snot ball that's in here.
I've always wondered about the oyster. It had to be a situation like Tom Hanks in Castaway where you just don't have anything else to eat.
You gotta love crab.
And you're just trying to figure out, can I get something out of this? But oysters, eggplant is one that you look at an eggplant, how in the hell can that be? No, that was obvious. Eggplant is one, and then milk. Like, okay, I'm gonna
see what's coming out of that teat.
Yeah,
he's really excited.
Now, I guess the logic there was
it's natural.
Yeah, I mean, kids gonna suck on the tit.
Yeah,
other animals' milk other than human.
Oh, but the egg though.
That was mine. Is the egg because humans are already crapping, and one of them looked at it. He's like, oh, his crap's hard and white. I think I'll eat it.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did you?
No, you gotta scramble it.
But Rockstar, the first time they ate it, they just picked it up, bit into it. They're like,
that's how Rocky eats it, man.
Yeah. This would be better if you would crack it open and pour all that stuff out.
Yeah, get rid of the shell part.
Yeah.
Honey's a good one. You all those bees and you swarm those
It's
bees.
essentially bee vomit.
I know.
Yeah, you get the bees out of the way.
I am so glad that people came before us and refined all this stuff. But I have always wondered, is there that thing out there we haven't discovered yet that is a delicacy? I mean, people keep trying, right? People keep adding things.
You've heard that we've only discovered 1% of the ocean, right?
That is true, yes. There's got to be a fish somewhere in the ocean that's better than anything we've ever eaten. But we just hadn't gotten there yet.
I saw it was I think it was an ale.com story that I didn't know. This is my native state. I've lived here for all but 2 years of my life, and we had some land grant thing that passed in South Alabama that protected hundreds of acres of some piece of land down in South Alabama, and the headline was bill passes to protect Alabama's Amazon land. And I was
Amazon?
Like, we've got our own Amazon-like land?
Are you sure it wasn't like an Amazon
company?
plant? Like a delivery company plant?
Oh, maybe it was.
Damn.
I thought we had a piece of property.
They even have trucks.
I thought we had a piece of property in Alabama that was protected and had some water that we could go in there and that had some life-saving plants and stuff. But you're
My
right,
God.
it's probably the company.
I can't believe that's the first thing you thought of. I would have thought the company first and then been stunned that we had other land.
No, I was thinking like, we're losing so much of the rainforest down in South America.
Bring some up to Alabama. We'll take care
We're
of
going
it.
to protect the rainforest here in Alabama.
Second down.
Oh, there we go. See, the Mobile Delta. Thank you, David. The River Delta.
Oh, I knew that. I was just messing with you.
I'm still going to go back and say it was probably the Amazon
Thank
side.
you, Jacob. No, I think that's it.
What is something that is really popular right now but will be considered ridiculous in 5 years?
Maybe the Swift-Kelsey relationship.
Could be. Grasshoppers is back to our food thing.
Yeah.
People are eating grasshoppers and
You
crickets.
dip them in chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I forgot. Was it Disney World where you could buy? Yeah, it was Disney World. You can buy the packs of chocolate-covered crickets.
Yeah, chocolate. Yeah, absolutely. The VR goggles. I'm with you, Pritchlaw. I think we'll look back at that.
Yeah, but we've been doing the Google Glass thing was like almost 10 years ago. We're still trying to get this stuff on our face. That's not going to stop.
Pickleball, Ross. I've never played pickleball yet, and I'm sure I'm going to love it because I even enjoyed badminton with my man Ronnie Rass back in high school.
I haven't played yet. I was supposed to play a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't played yet either.
Yeah, but I guess I played tennis before, and I like playing tennis, but it's a lot of running. I'm not good enough to cover the court.
But see, that's the good thing about tennis. You're getting exercise.
Right.
I mean, with pickleball, it's just an activity.
Yeah, but see, exercise, yes, but you got to be pretty good to cover that court to keep a rally going. It's a lot of serve, return, and then either one return or into the net.
Well, not if you're playing somebody with your skill set. I mean, if you guys are equally slow and you don't have good range, then you're hitting it. If you're hitting it around your range, as long as you're playing with a like person.
But I'm hitting angles, trying for them not to touch it. So it's a lot of space, so it does cramp it in there. I think I'll give pickleball a try, but I don't know if we're having a lot of people building a lot of acreage of pickleball courts, and we all know very soon when this phase dies down, it's going to be empty concrete pickleball courts.
They have killed Veterans Park because they're building these pickleball courts.
Right. So 5 years from now, there's a good chance that we're going to be putting up basketball goals at the end of that.
Probably
and
so.
repainting them as a basketball
A game
court.
that has stood the test of time.
That's right.
I don't know that these are popular, but this question made me think, and I know the answer is going to vary differently. How often do you actually use a key? Like, I never use a key.
Right.
I do to get in and out of my house.
See, I don't.
They have new things. You got keypads to do
I've
now.
got keypad. And
I have an emergency key for it.
I mean, you think about that. Like, there will be a day where the key is basically obsolete. Like, it's almost obsolete for me. I almost never use a key unless I'm the only person to come in this door up here. That's the only time.
I also use
That's
that
the only
every day
time I ever
here,
use a
too.
key.
So you never use one at home?
No.
So you've got pad?
Yeah. And going in and out through my garage primarily. That's primarily my entryways through my garage.
I've got two keys.
Home and here?
Home and here.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they're colored by importance.
I don't
Gold medal for
yeah.
most important work. Silver home.
Pyrite.
Third down.
But I mean, the car key. You used to put the key in. I had a car with a key in it.
Yeah, I
forever.
noticed there's like
coins. People are saying coins.
Yeah, I almost never use coins.
I got a little scratch next to the keyhole, and I'm like, I've never used the keyhole.
Yeah, how did I? Oh, I don't even have a keyhole. There's like not even an option.
By the way, I got a call this morning, and Maddie was like, there are handprints of somebody looking in the bathroom window.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, how weird is that?
That's an A+ tile home remodeling. Tell us about it, Brown.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, not alarming at all.
Because you don't have shower curtains anymore. You have a big glass wall, don't you?
Well,
I think we found the suspect.
No, here's the biggest problem. It's stained glass. So how in the hell can you see anything anyway?
Oh, that's interesting.
In the window or the shower? Or both?
No, the window.
Is there a chance it's an image of the Virgin Mary or something like that?
Oh, it could be.
She hasn't seen the
I
whole
haven't
image
seen it yet. I'll check it out when I get home. I'll give you guys full report.
Maybe it's God saying you need to go showers. Take baths during Lent.
I'm going to have to...
Rockstar, your mic's off.
What movie has the best opening scene?
For me, it's Jaws. I mean, Jaws, all-time classic, 1975, but you've got... stoner kids sitting on a beach, strumming a guitar around a fire, and guys giving eyes to a chick. They're drinking. He chases her down. She starts stripping off.
You're lured in thinking you're going to get some good nudity right off the bat.
He falls out. He's too drunk to even get in the water. And then she goes for a nighttime swim, and you know what's coming. You immediately get the John Williams music. You get the underneath shot. You get her character had no idea they had put like this vest on her, and they were jerking her around. So the movement of the shark, her screams are actual real primal screams because she was in so much pain. It's a fantastic opening scene.
Troy says mine, though, there is a technicality. The opening scene of Saving Private Ryan is technically in the cemetery, and then it cuts to the storming of the beach. But, buddy, once they cut to the storming of the beach, that's great. That is an intense movie scene.
Yeah, I'd go with both of those, Rockstar. I mean, it's hard to beat both of those right there.
Well, how does the Notebook start?
With greatness.
I can't remember. I think it's the old lady talking, right?
You know, it is kind of hard to remember opening scenes.
Yeah.
Mine is always Inglourious Bastards, the way that he comes in to find those people where he's looking for houses, and that scene, drinking that milk. That was
Christopher Waltz.
Yeah, it's an intense opening scene.
Waltz.
Intense.
Yeah.
So, very memorable.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I mean, dude is up at home eating cereal.
Jason Segel, and he said that on an interview that actually happened. That was based on a breakup. That he said I was literally naked eating cereal. My girlfriend at the time came in saying we should break up, and I was butt naked.
Yeah, well, she probably should have. You're sitting around eating cereal naked, get rid of the guy.
Yeah,
I think he's turned out all right.
4th down.
What is something you have finally accepted?
People suck.
Wow.
Finally.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've known that for a long time. Everybody's a hypocrite. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, everybody's got a little level of hypocrisy in them.
I'm never going to be a billionaire. Not that I ever thought I was going to be one.
Well, at least you've...
But yeah, I'm at peace with that.
I'm not going to be performing at the MTV Music Awards.
Rocky, don't say that.
I don't think I am, Jim.
I haven't accepted that for you, Rocky.
I like that Lance said he wasn't going to be a billionaire, and Rockstar just can't perform at MTV. Oh, Rockstar, don't say that.
I think both of you guys need to realize Detroit and Miami are never going to win Super Bowls when you guys are alive.
No, I've far from accepted that.
You got very close.
If I had accepted that, I wouldn't watch every Sunday like I do.
You still would.
Nah, if I knew they were never going to win a Super Bowl.
Well, you don't think Kansas fan will still watch every one of their games knowing that they will never win a college football playoff?
No, I don't think there's a lot of Kansas fans who watch every game.
There's a handful of UAB fans. They go to all the games. They know there's not a chance, and hell, they're ever going to win one.
I think
in football.
Yeah.
I accepted this some time ago, is that there's just really no reason to argue with people on social media. And I didn't do a ton of it, but like when we first started out on social media back in the radio days, I was under the impression it's social media, so I'm going to be social with it. I'm going to go back and forth with people, and I'm like, yeah, nobody listens to you there, so I'm just not going to argue. So you can literally say the worst possible thing to me on social media. I'm not going to fire back.
There was I wish you guys would have, specifically you, Rockstar, wish you'd have told me in 2016 or 2017 to just go ahead and shave my head. That took me a long time to do that. I go back and look at pictures from that era.
Don't know why you want to be upset real quick.
Yeah.
I remember telling you that.
You do?
Because dude, you have the same hair as me. You just
what did he say?
I don't know what he said, but I remember saying it multiple times. Because I had the same problem. I was like, dude, I had to stop holding on to it. There's no going back.
And that took forever. And then once I decided, I forget when, I think it was the pandemic or right before the pandemic. I remember I was going to an Alabama football game and I just shaved it.
Yeah,
see, Maxon has shaved his. Josh Maxon has saved his.
Man, that's a tough time, and thank God for Dr. B. But if I ever get to that point, as much as I hate beards, I think you've got to have the beard with the shaved head.
Yeah.
But I know you can't grow one.
I can't grow a good one. I mean, I can grow one. It's just not a good one.
You need no hair. You need to be like a seal.
Powder.
If you ever shave yours, Brown, are you going to go beard?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, like a thicker beard?
Yeah, I really don't know. I hadn't thought through that. Yeah.
Are you gonna shave it down, or are you gonna keep the Feinbaum span ring around the head?
Again, I have spent zero time thinking about this. I doubt I'll go that look.
I'll tell you what is worse is Larry David's. Larry David's gives no shits.
But can you imagine him completely bald? He wears that well. He looks, 75 years old. That is a signature look. If you saw him in the 80s when he was working for SNL, he had a huge afro.
Right.
I like Larry David's hair.
Okay, that hair, though, is it more Cookie or Bozo from the Bozo show? Is it Bozo?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I buzz mine twice a week now, and when it gets a little bushy on the side,
when your bangs get in your eyes.
Yeah, I can't stand it when it gets a little bushy on the side.
Why don't you do a mohawk?
Because that's if I could grow a mohawk, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right, you'd have hair.
Yeah. Whatever the reverse mohawk is, where it's hair on the outside and none down the middle, I could do that.
That's Span and Fine Bob.
Yeah.
They got the reverse mohawk.
Yeah, but I don't shave it, though. I just buzz it down a couple times a week. Maggie used to do it, and then she got tired of doing it.
You gave it up for Lent.
Yeah, she gave it up for marriage.
Yeah.
That's
4 of them today.
Yeah, that's our 4 downs brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, stop in and see the Bajaya brothers, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. Incredible concept. His brothers celebrate his legacy each and every day. Get out, see Jason, Chris, the fine folks there. 4 locations, soon to be that 5th location in Edgewood and Homewood. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
I still struggle with being old, though. I mean, it's hard to accept being the oldest guy in the room. And just like yesterday with Taylor, we're down there and we're getting ready to cover the Auburn game, and we're sitting there, and that person behind us who says, "Man, I wish my dad had come visit me on Valentine's Day." It's hard to realize that. Yeah.
I mean, look, I had that struggle about a year ago. I'm kind of at peace with it now. But Rocky and I last night both got called sir by the girl sitting in front of us.
Yeah.
No, I was at trivia one night, and one very nice looking young lady said, when she handed into the thing, she goes, "I think you know my dad." And I'm like, that's got to make you feel
Yeah,
wrong.
the dynamic of trivia, since we started doing it in 2008, 2009, over these last 15 years, it has completely changed.
Yeah, no, last night, one of the Auburn students, "Hey, I love your show. You went to college with my uncle."
My grandfather.
With my uncle. And I was like, "Yeah," we took a picture, sent it to the uncle.
Yeah.
Don't bother me. I'm reading the obits right now to see how many of my friends died this
Shut
week.
up, you little punk.
But then I have to remember that Taylor and my daughter are the same exact age, and that EG is 1 year younger than my daughter.
Well, that was alarming to me, was when Jennifer pointed out that EG and Anna Kate were almost the same age. I was like, that is...
Yeah.
Oh, I just
that means little T and Anna Kate are almost the
I
same
was
age.
in the lobby eating a Lunchable, and I asked EG, "When's the last time you ate a Lunchable?" And she said when she was 7, and it was like 2017.
Yeah, it's just the other day.
For you, it's every 24 hours at the same time. All right, Champy's Chicken. Champy's Chicken, the wrap version right there, brought to you by Sterling, Highway 119 in Alabaster. That great Southern fried chicken he brings you this hour every day. Brined overnight, cooked to order. Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, which I will not have over the next 39 days because the outside of the tamale I put in the bread category. We were debating last night, potato chips. That's not bread, though.
No, that's
potatoes.
Yeah, it's literally in the name.
Yeah. But there are potato buns.
Tortilla chips.
Tortilla chips out.
Yeah.
Out on that, too.
Weird place to draw the line, but yes.
Hand-cut chicken fingers, though. We'll be eating those. Absolutely.
But not breaded ones.
Po'
That's
boys?
bread.
Those are breaded, buddy.
That's breaded. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
gonna have to bring you grilled. Can he bring you grilled chicken fingers?
He's going to peel that skin off.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to make it?
39 more days, baby. Find
you
out.
only caved on alcohol one day in.
That was because I was in the car with Eve and you, the serpent. We're back in a moment. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Are you ready for a winning season in your finances? Legacy Credit Union is bringing you a slam dunk deal on their credit cards. Apply for their balance transfer and pay 0 balance transfer fees. That's right, there is no balance transfer fees, and they're offering a jaw-dropping 2.99% APR for the first 6 months. Whether you're looking to clear the cord of those holiday expenses or just wanting to streamline your finances, apply online today, legacycreditunion.com. Annual percentage rate, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details, federally insured by the NCUA.
Bandwagon wants to remind you that baseball and softball season is right around the corner, and their shelves are stocked with everything your kid needs. From grip tape to gloves to custom uniforms, Bandwagon has all the gear, big and small, for those ballpark days. Until February 3rd, you spend $100 on baseball or softball equipment, and Bandwagon will give you $20 off. Just tell them the Next Round sent you. Visit locations in Cahaba Heights, Homewood, and Trustful, or go online to bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the Live Daily Show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, starting this hour off where we started the show, a little Auburn basketball, a little SEC basketball, getting ready for the weekend. Jay Bilas on the show earlier. If you want to go hear what Jay said, wherever you get the podcast, video and audio-wise, on all of our great platforms. Remember to like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you're watching us right now or anytime that you watch us here on The Big Show. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, and everyone else up here. Excited to be with you. Trash coming up in the next segment. And before we get to a happy birthday that we want to share with somebody, I want to tell everyone about our friends at Way to Wellness. Getting your life back on track, your journey to healthy living happens with Leslie and her board-certified team down. Just a great group that want to help you jumpstart your weight loss or reach your goals physically in 2024. Maybe it's just getting healthier. There's Leslie talking to all of us when we were learning about the great programs there. Every program is designed specifically for you. No cookie-cutter plan. There's no contract, so you can get out anytime you want. And there's no upfront money. It's a free consultation. All you have to do is go to this website, aplanforme.com, and set up that free consultation. Get some details there. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Happy birthday, Brownie. To who?
Tyler, I'm sorry to do this to you. Can you give me the chat back real quick? I'm going to need you to scroll up, too, because it's in the chat. I like it when wives do this. They jump in the show.
It's the best Valentine's gift.
It is the best Valentine's gift. Right there. There it is. Yeah. Emily Meadows.
Watching us today on Facebook. Hello, Emily.
Yeah, Emily, back up. I'm only got the YouTube in front of me here. Emily says, hi. Can y'all give a birthday shout out to Josh Meadows? Well, happy birthday, Josh Meadows.
And you can tell Emily likes him not only doing that, but look at the picture.
Right. Yeah, they're together. It appears on the beach with a nice little sunset behind them.
Yep.
So from Facebook, Emily Meadows wants us to wish Josh a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Josh. I like it.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Because that shows me wives know their husband loves this show, and it will mean a lot for him to hear a happy birthday from us. That's a very great compliment to us, but it means you're a loving wife.
Yeah, she'd probably get away with go spending now.
That's right. Go shopping, Emily. Happy birthday, Josh Meadows.
Give Josh one piece of advice as he's watching this now to make Emily happier in 2024, Lance?
My piece of advice would be to always stimulate the relationship. Like, don't get anything, if it's ever even you smell anything getting stale at all about the relationship, make sure you push. You guys were at a point at one time where you couldn't keep your hands off of each other. As long as you keep the communication and you keep everything fresh, your relationship is going to be just fine.
Brown is great advice. No, Lance just gave amazing advice right there. I would say for Josh.
By the way, because I am focused on the here and now. You know this now.
I do know this.
And I am all in.
I would say for Josh, pay very close attention to things your wife does every day that she probably does not particularly care to do. And try to one day surprise her by doing some of those things. And don't say that you're doing it. Don't even point out that you did it. She'll notice.
Yeah, before you give your advice, like yesterday.
I've got no advice for you.
After
Jim's advice is go to an Auburn game on Valentine's.
Keep chasing sunsets.
Well, I was told last night, Maddie was like, I really appreciate how you made me feel special today. And I'm like, damn, I hope I do that a lot more than just Valentine's Day.
Oh, it's hard. It is hard to do that every single day.
You do let her go run to those dogs every day. That's a gift.
I mean, I did check a minute ago and say, hey, we got to make sure those dogs are up.
Valentine's is over.
And we're back.
That's right.
And we're back. Fighting for you, Maddie.
Yeah, but happy birthday, Josh Meadows. Thank you for watching the show every day or listening or however you consume us. We greatly appreciate it.
We appreciate you donating there to our GoFundMe for that birthday wish. You can do it, too, for $1,000 here on the show. I'm kidding. Last night, Auburn hands it to South Carolina. South Carolina comes in number 11 in the country. Lamont Paris getting mentioned even for the Ohio State job. Maybe some distractions as they came to Auburn. They got beat by 40. Auburn's all-time win margin over a ranked team, breaking a 31-point margin. They beat Mississippi State, who was number 8 in the country, back in 1959. Lamont Paris put it all into one little nutshell.
They were really good. We weren't that good. That's what happens when you have that combination. So they played some inspired, determined, intentional basketball. Again, I don't want to take anything away from Auburn. They're a good team. They're well coached. They played really well, right? But I don't think for a second we think they're 40 points better than us. Like I don't think that. So, I mean, it's almost better that it turned out that way, because turning the page on what I'll be able to sell to them as an anomaly, not in that we lost, certainly, but in that it turned out like that, right? I think that'll be easier for them to get on to the next practice.
That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective. I did laugh during that game last night, just thinking almost every national basketball writer that wrote about the sudden job opening in Columbus, Ohio, with Chris Holtman getting fired, said Lamont Paris is a candidate. I mean, almost everyone I saw.
And you heard what I said yesterday when that got brought up.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more, but I was just envisioning, Lance, the Ohio State basketball fan sitting at his house last night. And
Let me see what this guy's about.
Yeah, he's read all these stories. They're like, South Carolina's playing right now. Let me check out this Lamont Paris guy. And they get bombed by 40. They get bombed by 40.
Can I have the other guy?
Yeah, I don't even know who else we're looking at.
They've got 2 pearls. Can we have one of them? Meanwhile, cut number 8, Tyler, if you will. The other SEC game last night was nationally ranked Tennessee on the road at Arkansas. Can be dangerous. Wasn't dangerous at all. The Vols hammered them. Eric Musselman, also mentioned yesterday loosely for the Ohio State job, talked about how his team got beat down by the Vols.
You've played a bunch of ranked teams this year. How good is Tennessee? I mean, how do they stack up? How good do you think they are?
Well, on a night like tonight, you'd think they're as good as anybody in the country. I mean, this league is loaded. That team's really well coached, and their competitive spirits is good as any team that we've played. And they were coming off a loss, and we tried to tell our guys what they would be like when you're ranked 8th in the country and you come off a loss. They're really good. I don't know what else to tell you, Bob. They just beat us by 29 points. They're a pretty damn good basketball team.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you, Bob. We just lost.
Man, you're talking about a guy that lost a lot of equity, and that is Eric Musselman. If he's not your coach, a lot of people don't like Musselman, and the way they're losing games. I mean, the expectation. It's almost like the complete opposite. Look, South Carolina, they shit the bed last night, but boy, they have more. And I heard somebody else talking about Lamont Paris, National Coach of the Year, but they have way exceeded expectations. But almost on the flip side of that is where Arkansas is right now. That's embarrassing. Yeah. They've been beaten at home by Auburn and Tennessee. It seems like by 100+.
Remember we showed the clip of their first game or first practice where he got into the track stance and was in a track suit and came in and said, guys, it's about finishing the race this year.
That's right.
Running through the tape, finishing the race. We're playing for the championship, playing into April, finishing the race.
They're going to finish that race in Nashville.
Yeah.
Probably on a Wednesday night.
First leg, they dropped the baton this year.
I know.
I mean, for them to be 3-8 in conference.
Yeah, I mean, that program should not be 3-8 in conference.
And the other thing I don't understand, Dalton Knecht, how he was not in the portal before this year. I mean, this guy is
played 2 years or 3 years at Northern Colorado.
This guy is projected.
He's a lottery guy.
I've seen as high as number 6 overall.
Me too.
When you look at Knecht, he played 2 years at Northern Colorado.
Yeah, I believe. Not that Grant Nelson is bad, but I believe Alabama thought they were getting what Tennessee has in Dalton Knecht. I believe Alabama thought they were getting that with Grant Nelson.
100%. 100%. I mean, Stephen Pearl, if you remember him bringing that up, essentially said that. Now, he didn't make the comparison to Grant Nelson and Dalton Knecht, but he essentially said nobody knew what you were getting at Dalton Knecht, because Stephen was the first guy I heard on this show say the guy was second team all conference last year. He's like, I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, in whatever conference that is. I don't even know what conference it is.
How is he second team in that conference and he's this good in the SEC?
Yeah. It's
makes no sense.
Unbelievable. All right, that's a little basketball from last night. Samford won as well. If you're wondering about the names being mentioned for that Ohio State job, from our friends, by the way, first of all, Gene Smith did a solid to Ross Bjork. Right, the outgoing AD, Bjork doesn't officially take over for another month, I think. He fired the guy he hired, Chris Holtman. $12.8 million buyout. So that's not going to be on Ross Bjork's head, because Ross Bjork right now leads history when it comes to buyout money just because of what he had to pay Jimbo Fisher. He didn't want, in his first day on the job in Columbus,
guess what?
To be a $12.8 million buyout to a basketball coach.
No, and there is a lot of belief that Buzz Williams will be that guy.
That Ross is going to drag him along.
Yeah, he'll bring him along. And
Interesting. I had not heard that name.
That's not on my list.
And Buzz is one of those guys. I think he's a hell of a coach. But if you're at A&M, nothing's really ever happened there basketball-wise. You've got all the resources.
Seems like a boring basketball school.
It does.
What does?
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Ohio State kind of does too.
Yeah.
But he keeps coaching in these. I mean, there's no knock on like these schools that have association with the military, but Virginia Tech and Texas A&M, it's just like they're boring products, and that's the two products he's chosen.
Was he at Marquette before?
He was, and he's a guy that. Like, his tenure seemed to go quickly, but he's been there a while. Like Marquette, he was there 6 years. Virginia Tech, 5 years. He is in year number 5 in College Station.
I think Buzz Williams is one of those guys we think is a good coach because we like him.
I think he's a pretty good coach.
I mean, the record doesn't really tell you he is. At some point, you are what your record says you are.
But he's been to 3 Sweet 16s and an Elite 8.
He has been to 3 Sweet 16s and an Elite 8. The problem is 2 of those Sweet 16s were at Marquette, and so was the Elite 8. Since he left Marquette, he's made 1 Sweet 16, and that's...
Well, the Virginia Tech job, I still don't understand why you left Marquette to go to Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech and Texas A&M are 2 bubbly jobs. They're always on the bubble.
Marquette's the best of those jobs. Now, it probably doesn't pay the level those do, but it's the best of those jobs. Yeah. Like, who loses at Marquette?
Taylor and I got asked on
I mean, Shaka Smart can't win at Texas, and he's winning at Marquette.
But he wins at Marquette.
Yeah.
And we got asked last night, rank the Power 5 conferences, and I pointed out to the person, you got to go Power 6 in basketball because of the Big East. And I said Big 12, SEC, Big East, Big 10, ACC, Pac-12 is the order I went in. But the Big East is legit, and I'm not going to be shocked. I mean, we haven't had a back-to-back winner since Florida and Billy Donovan did it. I'm not going to be shocked if UConn doesn't cut it down again. You?
I mean, I'm not going to be shocked. I mean, we've seen, well, I guess we haven't seen UConn win back-to-backs. But, I mean, you look, I mean, your only losses this year at Seton Hall, which was a weird game, and then against Kansas on the road. So the Big East is really good. I'll tell you, a hell of a game coming up this weekend.
Oh, 4-1.
Yeah, when you've got Marquette coming into Stores to take on UConn. And Marquette, I think, has won 9 consecutive games.
You know, going back to the turn of the century, the only
which
coach,
we often do.
The only coach that has not won at Marquette is Woj, because Tom Crean turned the century there And he parlayed that into the Indiana job.
Yeah, and he took Marquette and Dwayne Wade to a Final Four.
Buzz Williams parlayed it, and now we're just talking about why Buzz took the Virginia Tech job, but still he parlayed it into the Virginia Tech job. Woj is the one that got fired, and Shaka Smart now has them 29-7 last year, and then in contention for a 1 or 2 seed this year.
Yeah. Number 4 and number 1, that's on Fox. I believe it's a 2 o'clock tip coming up this weekend, sandwiched perfectly in between an 11 o'clock tip out of game day, which is in Auburn, but 11 o'clock tip of Alabama hosting Texas A&M, and then 5 o'clock where Kentucky and Auburn battled down at Neville of a couple of top 25 teams. Jay Bilas on the show earlier will do trash in the next segment and a couple of football headlines for you on this show that's being brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. 205-542-3531, 542-3531 for that free no-cost roof inspection. Why not get Greg on your roof and find out has your roof aged out? Maybe it's old now and you need to replace the roof. He'll go honest with you. He'll tell you. He does it all the time with our viewers and listeners. Hey, you got 2 more years, 4 more years on this roof. You don't need anything done. Sometimes he'll find a loose shingle. He'll fix that for you and prevent that water from seeping in and ruining your roof and ruining your house. He repairs storm damage. Terrific in doing the storm damage replacement. And he'll also, again, that free no-cost roof inspection. He's the best in the world. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. 205-542-3531. Or just look him up on Facebook. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing.
Follow Sean Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Dr. B bringing you these headlines before LT does trash. He'll tell you about Dr. B in just a second, but we mentioned earlier the Rules Committee in college football will address the 2-minute warning in college football, should it happen or not. They're going to do that and discuss helmet communications from the sidelines to the quarterback and likely linebacker. That's going on. Kentucky's got their offensive coordinator, Bush Hamdan, is the offensive coordinator. He was a Boise State quarterback and most recently their offensive coordinator, but he has been in the SEC helping out at Florida and Missouri before he became the OC at Boise State. We started the show off by telling you that Georgia State head coach, I'll say it again, Georgia State head coach Sean Elliott has left that program in the middle or the beginning of their spring drills to go to South Carolina in the SEC to become Shane Beamer's tight end coach. He had family that had stayed in Columbia from his days with South Carolina and was splitting time between Columbia and Atlanta at Georgia State, and he decided enough's enough, so he's moving back to Columbia. That's interesting right there. Chris Del Conte with an interesting comment. 11 o'clock is usually the kick for the Red River. He says, we're okay with 11. There is discussion about being moved to 2:30. He thinks it's a brilliant idea, and he supports the move to 2:30 if they choose to do that.
I like this. I know Fox has had a lot of success with their big noon kick. I don't like big games at 11 o'clock. I like to kind of ease in because, we all enjoy consuming whatever college football we've got. So give me some mid-tier games at 11 o'clock. I like to really settle in for the 2:30 of the primetime games when it's bigger games, and I'd like to see Texas, Oklahoma played at other times.
That's interesting. I like it at 11.
I do too, but if Fox if they continue to do their biggest game at 11, which as they traditionally have done, you got to think that if you're the SEC, I've got better games who are on my second, third, and fourth levels than the Big Ten does. I can spread it out over the day and maybe win the whole day.
Yeah, but you could also potentially have the biggest game at 11, no matter what Fox has. Texas, Oklahoma could be the biggest game that day.
You do, but you may be able to compete with your second best game with their best game and then slam them at 2:30.
Yeah. I just always thought both schools liked it at 11 because it gave fans a chance to go to the game and then maximize their time at the state fair afterwards. That's what I'd always been told.
Yeah, now imagine corn dogs before you go into
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you've got a 2:30 kick, you can get there at 10 o'clock and do. Like, the theme is always the same. Anybody that I've talked to that has been to that game, and none of us have been to it, and I still think at some time we need to go.
Nah, they're SEC. We can go now.
No better time than this year.
To that game, but it's the same theme every time. It's, oh my God, I showed up just in time for kick. The sun was beating down. I was so hungover from the night before. 11 o'clock games, if you're traveling into that area, is a pain in the ass. It's not bad for us on the couch, but I just think for the entirety of the game, I think moving it around a little bit, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
By the way, Greg Sankey's going to have a Chris Del Conte problem, in my opinion.
That guy likes to talk.
He talks a lot and he shares a lot of stuff. He says we're working towards a 9-game conference schedule. He's talking to his boosters here. We're 8 for this year. We're probably 8 for 2025. Then we'll likely move to 9. From Texas,
that guy has
Chris
done
Del
nothing
Conte.
but talk from day one. And he used to do that all the time in the Big 12 because they ran that joint. Yeah. And he does not run this conference. So at some point, Sankey is going to have to contradict him publicly. And Sankey may even get the horns down.
Horns down, mouth talking.
What are you doing there?
Horns down, mouth talking.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember that one later on.
That's the move.
Yeah. That's the move.
I mean, if you're a righty and you're driving.
Lance gave you great advice earlier, Jim.
Thank you. Chasing sunsets, guys. DJ Durkin's salary is $1.2 million down at Auburn. Tell us about Dr. B.
Well, real quick, Stan, has LT considered he might have a drinking problem? Stan, for the record, how many days in are we, Brown?
What is today? Today's the 15th, Lance. When was the last time you had a drink?
15 days in. I was just talking to one of our friends in the green room who... He is in the business, so to speak. I told him I'm not doing him any favors right now, but I'll be back whole and hearty on March 1. Again, when it comes to the hair, we were talking about this earlier. Dunaway finally decided to shave his hair. If we could go back 10 years ago, what is the first move you would probably make?
Probably have to go 15. But
if we went back 15 years ago.
I would call Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. Beckenstein is the guy. I saw a friend the other day, and he is thinning out a little bit. And I'm trying to decide... I mean, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I said everybody's a hypocrite.
You said you would say it.
It's yeah. I've got to tell this guy about it. Dunaway, would you tell a friend?
I would tell some friends, but other friends would not take it well, so it'd be hard for me to do it.
Okay, so if you're that friend and somebody tells you, you got to be able to take it well. I mean, they're not going to tell you your hair's thinning if it's not, right?
Right.
Yeah, would you tell a friend, Brown?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a coin flip.
Rocky, you told Dunaway.
Yeah, he tried. It failed.
It's easy to do when you have the problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
It's looking in the mirror.
Well, but I can do it too. I can say, look, the hair was going away. If I wouldn't have gone to see Dr. Beckenstein, I would be like Rocky and Dunaway right now. So jump in front of this. My hair has more than doubled in thickness since I went to see Dr. B. Call 205-319-0316, t3hair.net. Again, I do the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. Call today, 205-319-0316. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you.
Trashing's a second. Get ready for the big button. Tiger Woods back at golf today has just teed off at the Genesis in Riviera today. It's on ESPN Plus, 3 o'clock on the Golf Channel Central Times if you want that. Vern Lundquist makes the announcement yesterday. This will be his final Masters. 40 years of the Masters, started in 1983, so it's going to be 41 years when he's done, unless they didn't play it one year, but he's done it every year. 1983, the winner was Seve Ballesteros on Vern's first call there at 16. So Vern Lundquist has been tremendous at that at the Masters. Can't wait till he does it one more time at Augusta National. We are ready now for Trash at the Big Button.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. I understand.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every step of the process. As a veteran-owned, operated company, they understand the difference between working with someone who gets it and someone who doesn't. They've made it their mission to simplify the VA loan process. Visit their location, Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Stan over there, I care about him, not trying to cheer on destructive behavior like some of you. I appreciate that, Stan. Anyway, I was just telling the fine folks, including Kelsey and Little T, that moderation might be in my vernacular coming March 1st.
Might be.
Might be.
So moderation is under consideration.
Yeah.
All right, I like that.
Well, that would be a revelation.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a revelation that I'm 15 in, right?
I've seen you do it before. I had no doubt.
Sharon Stone. What do you think the net worth on Sharon Stone? Basic Instinct, Casino.
I'm going to say Sharon
Total Recall.
Total Recall. That was maybe the first or second
her
role for her.
net worth?
Net worth, I'm going to say $125 million.
She said that she is looking for love, by the way.
In all the wrong places?
That people just want to hook up, but she really wants love this year. I read that article. But she has also reported net worth of $40 million.
I went way too high.
Yeah, a bit.
Is this going to fall on deaf ears? She complains about the challenges that come with being wealthy and famous.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yep.
Now, in an interview...
I'd love those challenges, LT.
Published by... She has aged gracefully, though.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the lobby yesterday.
Yeah.
About who has, who knows.
Females that have aged... They almost look better now than they did 15, 20 years ago.
I agree.
Sheryl Crow was in the top of the list.
Marissa Tomei.
Right.
Yeah. Big fan.
Mine was Julia Louis-Dreyfus is so much better now than she was in 1990.
Kate Beckinsale hasn't aged. You could say that about Jennifer Aniston until the morning show recently. She started to age a little bit.
She had a lot of work done, though. I thought she looked unnatural.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I haven't seen her in forever.
She did a movie a couple years ago because she disappeared for a while.
You know who I'd not seen in forever, and I recently saw a photo of her, and I just don't know how updated the photo was, but if it's updated, Maura Tierney has aged gracefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and most of these that don't, either they have terrible genetics, which you can't help, or they just don't care.
Tiffany Amber just turned 50, just looks fantastic. Like she's still managing the peach pit. Jenny Garth from the same show, not too bad.
Kelly McGillis, though.
Rough fall.
But that's more
the outlier.
She probably doesn't care.
For every Kelly McGillis, you get a Dunaway.
Okay, so anyway, there was this interview published by InStyle this week. Stone expressed frustration, stating, quote, "You go out to dinner, 15 people at the table, and who gets the check? You get the $3,000 dinner check every single time." Now, the actress, 65 years old, said it's, quote, "very expensive to be famous." Well, guess what? Being famous makes you rich, and therefore you can
That's why I remember
expensive lifestyle.
You remember we had an article about Keira Knightley where she was making all this money from Pirates of the Caribbean, all the Domino, whatever movie she did, and she had a guy that she's like, I just want you got to pay me like I'm making $65,000-$75,000 a year. Everything else goes in the bank. Like, I'm going to try to live like that. I'm not going to go to these fancy dinners and celebrity parties and stuff. She's saving her money.
Is she really?
Yeah. I don't know if she stuck to it, but that was what the article was
But
about.
I think it's almost in this, some people can agree or disagree, this could be a poll question. Like, if you've got this kind of money, like, I would always be obligated and want, like, I'm kind of a giving person by nature, and like I would want to take my friends. Like, I don't want my friends touching their wallet.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to be like, well, super wealthy. I don't know that I could blow through it, but I would want to buy everybody's dinner. I'd want to take everybody on the trip with me. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that I cared about.
Yeah, like the new spreads. Like, dude, Brown paid for everything. Well, I want to try to get closer with him.
I know. That's the problem.
We need to bond more.
No, seriously, like pre-divorce, I remember going out to a lot of dinners and I would just pick up the check. Drinks, I would pick up the check. A little bit different now that we've got into the college arena with kids.
Yeah, it's a different ballgame.
And you've got alimony and child support.
Yeah.
But Sharon
things
Stone,
add up.
she's got $40 million. It's going to be hard for her to spend that, especially at 65.
Yeah, I would agree.
That doesn't sound like she's exposed financially.
I don't think so. I think she's just saying it's paying the ass, and she's saying that people use her. Just cut your circle.
Yeah,
that's right. Don't go to dinner with those people.
So a drunk driving suspect with unzipped jeans was arrested with an open Twisted Tea beverage in his truck.
Okay.
I've only had Twisted Tea one time, and it was when we did the bet. More receptions, or was it more passing attempts? Alabama against Middle Tennessee State to the drinks consumed that day in Orange Beach.
Yep.
And I had one Twisted Tea on the beach.
Does this kind of resemble a guy we know that probably got stung by a bee?
Oh, Patrick.
Yeah.
You talking about Patrick? Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Stuck by a bee.
I've got a Twisted Tea in my left hand. You see what I got in my right hand?
This is Dalton Zane, 30 years old. I've got the
Not
perfect,
a real name, by the way.
I've got the perfect two people. A former guy that we worked with.
Yep.
And Patrick.
Did you do a show with him this year?
No. I'm talking about.
But he was on a Zoom call when we were leaving.
No. I know who you're talking about. Yep. You're right.
Let me see.
No, you got it, Dunaway. You're right.
Got it.
Yeah. The old frozen Zoom.
This is Dalton Zane, 30 years old. He was in a black GMC Sierra with its headlights on and the engine running in the wee hours Sunday, according to a arrest report.
In the wee hours.
Approached Zane and suspected he might be intoxicated. I don't know what it would have given this way. Zane's zipper of his jeans was open. His belt buckle was undone. He staggered when he walked, held onto the vehicle for support, was asked to rate himself on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being sober and 10 being heavily intoxicated.
11.
What is the grade you think he went with?
I blew the roof off. I'm 15.
He said, quote, I'm a good 6.
Yeah.
I'm a comfortable 6. Peaking on 7.
Yeah.
Now,
20. Sir, anybody else in the car with you? Nope. Zipper and belt by myself.
24-ounce can of Twisted Tea was spotted in the vehicle's center console cup holder.
For those
he
who don't
was
know,
arrested.
Twisted Tea, is it alcoholic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a hard tea. It's supposed to give you the sweet tea taste without any of the alcohol flavoring.
Yeah, which means you could get drunk quickly if you're not a pro, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it really achieved it 100%, but a lot of people dig it.
I don't like bottled tea.
Okay.
So when her daughter was about to lose her first baby tooth, Kakoa Lawson went to work researching ideas. She wanted to make the Tooth Fairy experience magical and extra special for her only child. She gave her daughter a $100 bill decorated with glitter and tiny removable rhinestones. Now, Lawson went on to say, quote, she kind of lost her mind when she found it. But some cousins were jealous about the Tooth Fairy haul, and Lawson says, quote, she did get a little pushback from friends. I simply said, this is what our Tooth Fairy does, and suggested they make it special in their own way for their kiddos, says Lawson, 40 years old, who works as a model and an actress. Her outlay dropped to $20 for remaining teeth. Now, the Tooth Fairy is getting more generous and creative worldwide, and parents are learning how tricky that can be. Parents already were going big for birthday parties and college acceptances, but now they're increasingly making a splash for smaller milestones. Pinterest, the top online platform for sharing ideas, called the phenomenon, quote, Intstones, and has declared it the top predicted trend for 2024. Global Pinterest searches were up for potty training reward ideas, into the school party ideas, my first tooth party idea, and this is going on right now.
So first tooth is what, 4 4?
Oh, I don't know.
3, 4,
Yeah,
5.
somewhere in there, yeah.
So if you just bedazzle a $5 bill, I think the 4-year-old's going to enjoy that just as much as it
I'll
being
go
a
bigger than
$100 bill.
Yes, 100%.
So you wouldn't be pissed if you got $100 and the next time you get it $20? Like,
Well, again, the kid doesn't know the difference. You're the idiot here as the parent.
What is a 4-year-old going to do with a $100 bill?
Nothing. They don't know. Like, I mean, at what age does a kid? There's a certain age though where you can offer a kid 4 quarters or a $5 bill. They're going to take the 4 quarters.
That's right. Because there's 4 of them.
There's 4 of them, and they can put it in the claw machine.
And it's not paper. Yeah.
You guys wouldn't take the quarter.
No.
Okay. My mistake.
I can't believe that $20 was the discount price. Like, we were a hard 5 in our house. I don't know where y'all were.
I don't even remember.
It was a hard 5. And the problem was if the tooth fell out and you didn't have the right denominations, that's where you really got screwed up. Yeah, because that tooth comes out at night, and I'm already ready to go to bed.
It's almost like you keep a stack of those.
Well,
right?
you kind of had to. We started digging through the wallet. All you got is 20s or 1s, and you're like, crap.
In the trailer park, we just got a note that said, you're lucky you still have some left.
Brush those teeth so they don't all fall out.
Now, its origins can be traced back to 2019 when the AMC Theaters and Disney teamed to make an R2-D2 popcorn and drink holder that coincided with the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Now, according to AMC's Nell Storm, the VP of Food and Beverage, quote, it was the initial spark that lit the flame that got this whole collectible concession vessel started. Now, the droid sold out at $49.99 a pop, and a movement was born. AMC continues to dominate this space, even as others have followed. So outside of R2-D2, what do you have?
So this is.
I wish you could do Barbie, though. Where would you put the popcorn?
We got Barbie.
Oh,
People
wait.
pay $50 for
Yes,
this?
well, this is the new thing the theaters are doing because we got to make money.
Wait, don't tell me Lunsford didn't have that. You know he did.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
This is the Willy Wonka.
That's kind of disgusting.
What else we got? This was Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
That was.
Look,
You're not going to hold the popcorn.
Yeah, you're going to spill it all.
How much popcorn am I getting here?
Very little.
Guys, it's a collectible. Come on now. That's the new Dune sandworm that resembles something that you shouldn't be drinking out of or putting your hands in to get popcorn.
I wanted vanilla. This is chocolate.
Yeah.
God, that away.
And then there's your Barbie one.
Where do you put the popcorn?
I guess in the car.
Does Tyler have one? Is that why his mic's on?
Oh, is my mic on?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So they've been doing this. I noticed it when Across the Spider-Verse came out. They had a Miles Morales head and a Spider-Gwen head that you could put your popcorn in. And then they made one for Mean Girls and just every movie that's come out.
Also, it's gotten so big and ridiculous that Ryan Reynolds has even teased, you're going to be amazed at the Deadpool popcorn container. When that comes.
Really?
Like, it's just like, they even got the stars teasing it.
You know, the old popcorn container was something I didn't think was broken. I'm good with the paper one.
I want as much as I can get for what I'm paying for.
That's right.
Give me all I can get.
Yeah, normally, though, they give you free refills, don't they?
They do. They do.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is it to empty out a movie theater popcorn container?
I saw our man Jimmy Anthony did it.
I can nail it.
I can do it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I can do it. Yeah.
So here are some great pickup lines to end Thursday's edition of Trash.
Right after Valentine's.
How about this first one? Let's go shopping at my place. Clothes are 100% off.
It works. It works.
How about this one? Aren't you a little late for Halloween? Why are you still dressed up as the love of my life? It's terrible. How about this one? Stand next to a girl, step back, point as something fell on the floor. Hey, looks like you dropped your standards. Hi, my name's Phil.
That's pretty good.
Next one. Do you mind if I sit here and hit on you for a while?
Straight shooter.
Yeah, it's not even really a pickup line.
Actually, I do, but I'll take a free drink.
This one's terrible. Can you touch my hand? I want to tell my friends I've been touched by an angel.
Oh.
I do like this next one. This is very aggressive, but the question, do you like pancakes? Well, how about I hopped on that ass?
Oh, wow.
Or you say, do you like pizza? I like a pizza that ass.
Wow.
It works.
You know,
my mom blushed.
My 10-year-old asked me if I wanted to hear a Riz line. And I said, yeah. She goes, the alphabet only has 21 letters. It's like, no, it's got 26. She goes, I'm sorry, I forgot URAQT.
Oh, wow.
Are they using that?
You want me to tell you how different things have changed? Like every day when Jack goes into English, so he's a sophomore in high school. He goes in and they have like a different thing that you've got to write like a sentence on. Anyway, their thing was, what is Riz in your opinion? Who has Riz? And why do they have it? And so they had to do this little questionnaire.
Basically a Riz.
And then he asked me, he was like, I know you know what Riz is. He was like, do you know the origin of Riz?
I really don't know the origin of Riz.
Do you know the
origin of it?
Well, I mean, it makes sense when he said it. I sat there and I racked my brain where the word came from, but it's charisma.
Oh, I did not know that's where that came from. Okay.
Charisma.
Yeah.
Got it.
I like the pronunciation.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by.
Yeah, to the new year, add to a little financial uncertainty. Let the experts at Mortgage Right help get your financial house in order. The team of experts can make sure anything 2024 may bring you're prepared for, including freeing up cash for the things you need to get done, with location right there in Birmingham on Highway 280. Fast and free pre-approvals and reliable hands assistance that will help you take advantage of all available home buying and refinance options. With Mortgage Right, no middleman. You can trust that your files will never leave their office. 205-815-9200 or mortgageright.com/TNR.
We're looking for new social media things to put out. What if we start a joke here, and on the social media platform for all those that go follow, we give the punchline?
Okay.
Or we give the punchline. We got to make up a punchline, and Dunaway's got to come up with a follow-up to get to the punchline.
Yeah. Wrecked him. Yeah. I never met him.
Yeah, because his head was on fire. Now you got to make the joke.
I can't do that.
That's the best part.
You want me to give the punchline or the setup to a joke?
He met Lindsay Lohan in an alley.
Go ahead.
My punchline is they're going to think we're nuts. They're going to think we're nuts. Go to our social media platform, and we'll tell you the first part of that joke. Will that work?
Oh, got it. That's going to be.
I mean, we'll do
kill.
it 3 times and then never do it again. But yeah, it'll work.
They're going to think we're nuts. The answer over on our social media platform.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
For more than 40 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping the hardworking people of Alabama. This is why Red Wing Shoes has created the 3-step comfort solution. Step 1, a certified fit specialist will use a 3D scan to electronically measure your feet and arches. Step 2, the fit specialist helps you get the appropriate footwear for your occupation. Step 3, customize your boot or shoe with a Red Wing orthotic. Whether you have a high arch or flat feet, Red Wing has comfort solutions for you. So experience comfort at its best. Visit one of the Red Wing shoe stores located in Pelham or Trussville.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th Annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham.
The all-new Tenali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tenali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tenali.
Champy'sChicken.com bringing you this hour of the show. Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. The joke is not going to make it. Taylor Korn, our head of social media, I told her the joke. It's a bad joke and horrible idea, apparently. It's being discussed now up there with Tell Me Something Good Tuesdays.
That was quick.
We just need the Dunaway's business idea of the day.
I want that book.
That book?
Yeah, the book of Dunaway ideas.
Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go there and enjoy the best lunch in the world. Great date night, too. If you missed it last night, couldn't do it, maybe you had to work last night. Maybe Champy's Chicken is where you find love tonight. Champy'sChicken.com, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Let me see if I've got anything on my list that I have not gotten to today.
Did you read that joke up there on the top of the chat room?
What was the joke?
My 9-year-old asked my wife if she knew the alphabet, and she said, "Of course I do." He says, "Then can you ABCD's nuts?"
I laughed and we both got in trouble. Mom didn't like it, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and since you went that direction, I'll go ahead and say, what did one saggy breast say to the other?
What's that, Jim?
If we don't get some support around here, we
are going to be nuts.
They're going to think we're nuts. That was the joke. Oh. So no social media platform. Did not.
All right. Didn't catch on.
Forster loves tamales.
Hey, people are saying tamales, the outside is corn, so you can eat those. It's not bread. It's cornmeal.
Game changer.
Yeah.
No, it is
cornmeal.
corn.
Yeah, so you're good on tamales.
Hello, Sterling.
That means you can eat cornbread, right?
That's right. Corn.
There's corn in bread.
Yeah, there's bread.
No.
Sorry, it's bread's right in the name.
Dunaway, I mean, not for me to say, but if you really want to step it up, all carbs.
Eat all carbs or stop all carbs?
No, stop all carbs.
You're almost already there with just the bread.
Well, that's what Little T was saying yesterday too.
Isn't he? I mean, once you eliminate bread, you're pretty much there on the all carbs.
I mean, I don't know. What do you consider is potato chip bread? It's not bread.
No,
it's a lot of carbs. Potato chip. We covered that, but it is a carb.
But what about like spaghetti?
No, pasta's a carb. But you can go with
you'd be eating fruits and vegetables.
You can go with
that's how you lose weight though. Too.
You could go with the cauliflower noodles.
Yeah.
You could.
I don't like the
snot.
no-carb diets. I'll stick with my diet from Way to Wellness. Wonderful folks there. Love Leslie and her board-certified team. Hey, Forrester, I send you a lot of stuff, so I never assume you get all of it. Brett McMurphy's projected way too early 12-team playoff, just to see now with the teams moving forward what it would look like. He's got it.
Of course he does.
Alabama's in, but they're a 10 seed. Their opening round game would be in South Bend, Indiana, against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. No, that's Auburn.
That's Auburn Fight Song. That's a weird
horrible
thing to
at
do.
this. Here's the field for those that are on the social media platform. 4 byes would go to Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2, Florida State at 3, and Utah at 4. First off, those 4 teams, those are your power conference teams, and they are going to be the ones that get the bye. So doesn't necessarily mean Florida State and Utah are considered to be the 3rd or 4th best teams, right?
They just won their conference.
They just won their conference, so that looks weird. You're thinking, oh, you think Florida State's going to be the 3rd best team in the country? Nope, they're going to be the 3rd best Power 4 conference champion. So the wild cards, number 5 seed Texas out of the SEC, would play Utah in the Fiesta Bowl, providing that Texas was able to beat Boise State, the 12 seed, in Austin to open things up. In the top of the bracket, number 9 Penn State would play number 8 Missouri in Columbia. Good game. Missouri out to play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Remember the quarterfinals and the semifinals will be played at bowl sites. Michigan's an 11 seed on the road in Eugene to play Oregon. 2 Big Ten teams in the opening round there. And then Alabama, Notre Dame.
And I used to worry a lot about that, like the conference rematches in the first round. You're just going to have to get past it because there's going to be so many Big Ten and SEC teams in this thing. You're not going to be able to worry about that.
Again, this is Brett McMurphy's way too early projections here, just to show you how it's going to work. He has Oregon beating Michigan to advance to play Florida State, Notre Dame beating Alabama to advance to play Ohio State, Texas beating Boise to play Utah, Missouri to play Georgia, then Georgia advancing to the Final Four, Texas advancing to the Final Four, Oregon advancing to the Final Four, Ohio State, then Georgia, Ohio State. He doesn't give a winner, I don't think.
There are going to be, I mean, just by my count right now, if that did play out, 3 extremely upset fan bases.
That would be Alabama?
Well, no, Alabama's in.
Well, I know,
Well, I mean,
but they're having
no,
to go
I'm just talking
to
about
Notre Dame.
just teams that got in.
Okay.
Ole
Miss.
Yeah.
To some degree, LSU.
LSU was the other.
Yeah.
And then one more.
In the SEC or just somewhere else?
Just somewhere else. And they are a forgotten brand.
USC.
No, USC would be, but based on I'm talking about Clemson.
Oh,
I mean, Clemson to not make.
wow, you're
did
right.
we ever believe there was a year, like you go back 5 years ago, if I would have said we're going 12 teams, will Clemson ever miss this in the ACC?
No, not a 12-team playoff, not where Clemson was.
I mean, I guess their schedule is so bad if they lost Florida State and they weren't the conference champion, there's no way they'd get in as an at-large, but they do play Georgia and South Carolina, of course, at a conference.
Yeah.
I mean, now they're probably going to lose to Georgia.
Could just add to the loss column.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
I don't think Clemson at 10-2 not winning the ACC gets in.
Hey, real quickly on the full one more time, just so I can see it too. But as I'm looking around there, you have the automatic bids from Florida State, Utah, Boise State. Notre Dame's an independent. Everybody else is SEC and
Big Ten.
There's no two. There's no 2 bids in the ACC. There's no 2 bids in the Big 12, and I sort of think that's the way it's going to play out.
100% that's the way it's going to play out. Yeah, you better get used to that. It's going to be a lot of Big Ten and SEC teams.
So basically the ACC and Big 12 are one bid leagues?
You're going to get a lot of rematches. You're going to get a lot of conference-on-conference crime. You're just going to have to live with that.
I feel confident saying the Big 12 will have 2 in before the ACC does.
I don't disagree with that.
You think, oh, no, not with Clemson. You think the Big 12 will have 2 in before the ACC?
I do.
You want to go stake on that?
I'll go stake.
That may have been a stupid bet on my part. I've got the ACC. You've got the Big 12. First to have 2 in.
AK says he's calling it right now. Georgia loses to Clemson in the opener. That game's in Atlanta.
That would be an upset.
That's a double-digit upset.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, by the way,
Carson Beck back, though. If Carson Beck had gone, I mean, it's a wild card at quarterback, but Beck's back.
How about Clemson hosts Appy State the next Saturday? That's a tough follow-up to Georgia's. You play Appalachian State.
Tricky game.
Yeah.
Tricky game. Rusty, good laugh to close the show. Good day, fellas. I think he's talking about Notre Dame over Alabama.
I don't know.
I think he's talking about Georgia losing to Clemson.
I don't think he's talking about your nut joke.
Yeah, that's the one thing he's not talking about.
I don't think he's talking about my joke. 9 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.